much, Mikey, and welcome to a fresh new season of GNCC Racing to all you folks along RacerTV.com across the World Wide Web as we are ready to kick off this AMSOIL GNCC Series, the 43rd version of it, presented by Maxxis, an AMA National Championship with our top ATV XC1 pros here in Union, South Carolina at this, the VP Fuels Big Buck GNCC. And rolling to the line first today, he is a two-time GNCC champion in search of championship number 3 on a WFR Racing factory Yamaha backed by Maxxis and Fly Racing from Rogers, Ohio, Walker Fowler. Rolling to the line second today. He finished second in the overall aboard the 521. He hails from West Union, West Virginia. Backed by the folks at CST Tires, Induction Solutions, LSR, Hyper, and Spider Graphics, the McGill Mafia's Adam McGill. Rolling to the line today, third as he finished third overall for 2016. He is a 6-time GNCC champion from Sunbury, Pennsylvania, on a Chris Borich Racing Suzuki, Chris Borich. Rolling to the line fourth today, he rides aboard the number 5 from Bidwell, Ohio, on a Coastal Racing Yamaha, a former XC2 Pro-Am champion, Bryson Neal. Rolling to the line fifth today, he rides aboard the number 4, known as the Sneaky Snake in many years past. From Casca, Pennsylvania, on a JMR ATVRiders.com backed Honda, it's the Cobra, Jared McClure. Rolling to the line next, he was 6th after last season's championship battle. Aboard the number 733, coming to 2017 in 100% health out of Edinburgh, Pennsylvania on an Infab and Pro Yamaha, the Coal Train, Cole Richardson. Rolling to the line next, up from 11th to 7th overall from Glenville, Pennsylvania on a GBC Canyon Motorsports Fly Racing backed Honda, LW Landon Wolfe. Rolling to the line next, aboard the number 10 from Akron, Ohio on a BNR Motorsports Maxxis Pro Graphics Precision backed Yamaha, Josh Merritt. Rolling to the line next, 9th, if you will, aboard the number 11 machine. To the number 10 spot, aboard the number 13 from Aurora, Ohio on a GBC Fly Racing HMF Yamaha, Johnny Gallagher. And next, aboard the number 816, back with us from Grain Valley, Missouri on a Shockworth Motorsports Spider Graphics GBC Tires Honda, Tucker Wyatt. Rolling next to the line, second in the XC2 Pro-Am the past 2 seasons from Richford, New York on a Dillinger's Celtic Pug GMC Motorsports Moose Racing backed Honda, Marty Christopherson. Rolling to the line next, aboard the number 14, welcoming to the XC1 Pro class in his rookie season on a JMR ATVRiders.com Honda, Randy Hamilton. Rolling to the line next, aboard the 341 from Medina, Ohio on a Wolfe Racing Honda, Ryan Wolfe. Westy rides aboard the number 20 from St. Mary's, West Virginia on a JK Racing AC Motorsports Pirate MX-backed Honda, James Green. And welcoming to the XC1 Pro Class aboard the number 201. He hails from Carroll, Ohio on a Pierce Performance Yamaha, Cody Collier. Another XC1 Pro Class rookie, as well as an AMA Pro ATV Motocross Class rookie this year aboard the 741 from Myersville, Maryland on Yale Cycle Barn, Walsh Hetrick Racing back Suzuki, Wesley WOLFE. And last, and certainly not least, aboard the number 19, a B&R GBC-backed Yamaha rider from Hopedale, Ohio, Kevin Yoho. And that, my friends, is your starting lineup for this opening round of the 43rd annual AMSOIL GNCC presented by Maxxis. This AMA National Championship as the sun rains down here today at the Big Buck in South Carolina. We have met some great dignitaries in the county and from around the area today, and we are about ready to blaze another page in the history books of not only Union County, South Carolina, but also here in the GNCC record books, as this is the first time that the Big Buck has ever played host as the opening round of a GNCC. Generally, we open up in Florida, but we changed things up a little bit this year. We'll be back at it once again next week, just 1 week from today in the sands of Florida after tackling these major trails here at the Big Buck GNCC. We look out over the field. Looks like we're getting closer and closer to ready to go as we turn our attention to Ricky Towery up here, as he is our maestro and conductor of ceremonies, if you will. And, of course, Ricky is readying these riders and getting them ready to go. And, of course, as Ricky lets these folks know it's about time to go, he will start his countdown process. We're going to see the 1 minute call, which I believe we may have already seen now. So we are less than 1 minute away from going GNCC racing. We also, folks, have some big bucks up for grabs as far as a whole shot award. I believe our friends at Cometic Gaskets will be offering up some whole shot awards as well. We got XC1 and XC2 whole shots we'll be looking for. And right now, Ricky Towery is back out into this first turn, and for the first time in 2017, the excitement is starting to build as we look at the masses, the crowd that is gathered around this starting line, as well as around this near 10-plus mile-long racetrack in Union County, South Carolina. Ricky Towery waiting for the final words, and the all systems go from all of our folks. And it looks like we are there, friends. Shut them down, shut them down, shut them down. The blue flag is out. We are now less than 30 seconds away from the season opening GNCC. I got to ask you, Union County, are you ready to go GNCC racing? Well, that's pretty good, folks, but this is the Big Buck, and this is the season opener, so I'm going to ask you one more time. Are you ready to go Big Buck GNCC racing? 10 seconds, and row number 1, the XC1 Pro, will be off and rolling at the VP Fuels Big Buck GNCC. Around the first turn, they roll. It's Walker Fowler grabbing the early lead. Former teammate Cole Richardson in second. And the number 7 back in the number 3 spot, Landon Wolfe, to open things up here in the XC1 at Big Buck. Next up, the XC2 Pro-Am defending champion Greg Covert, Devin Fehan, Hunter Hart, Kenny Schick, Levi Cohen, Kenny Kelly, Wes Kinsley, Devin Masters, Danny Rogers, Bryson Hobbs, Matthew Lendl, Cameron Bruce, Brandon Eichert, Taylor Arnold, Brian Foltz, Jeff Miller, Gus Rickman, Austin Abney, and Sam Ho, all ready to roll on Ricky Towery's cue. 10 seconds. And they're off. The kickstarts are down as the green flag waves into the first turn. Who's it gonna be? It is the 427 427, Cameron Bruce from Darlington, Pennsylvania, just barely edging out the rest of the field. B&R Motorsports, GB and HMF back. He'll pick himself up an extra $100, I believe, as we go to the Vet A. This is a 28-plus class now. These riders include A.J. Kuntz along with Jeff Pickens, Wesley Stone, Todd Muscala, Dirk DeSkeezer, also looking at Nick Carnelli, Travis Austin, Kevin Patterson, Bratton and Trapp, Walter Schumacher, Jared Little, Dustin Hendershot, Adam Reed, Joseph Bosak, and Matt Hanna in 10 seconds. Green flag waves, kickstarts are down, and they're off. Around that first turn, grabbing gears. Who's it gonna be? It is the number 28, A.J. Kuntz from Fayetteville, PA, a B&R Motorsports, Burke Bio Oil, and GBC back machine. College A coming up next. One of our premier classes out here with Morgan Flannery, Scott Pearson, Caleb Hagan, Tyler Swindle, Joey Lambright, Tyler Berkey, also Drew Landers, Davis Brinson, Nick Royalty, Joseph Yersigan, Michael Schaefer, Dustin Atkinson, Andrew Bazinski. We're looking at Jacob Scott, Seth Wilson, McCain Jennings, Corey Silverthorne, John Glotta, Eli Kiger, Eric Straub, James Bisson, Tanner Walker, Brody Lambro, and Andrew Herring in less than 10 seconds. The madness into turn number one once again as they sort it all out. It is the 969. That is Bodie Lamoureux from Windsor, New York, on board the Honda. Junior A 22-plus class, Stephen Covert, Nick Mastrangelo, Matthew King, Jake Callan. We're also looking at Jake Price, James Mauger, Andrew Connors, Matthew Pittman, Ryan Thompson, Doug Morris, Andrew Gillette, Brett Cover, Jade Millwood. Looking at Tyler Moody, Jeremy Foytick, Zach Wright, Kyle Percy, Tyler Sizemore. 10 seconds. Dylan Como, Michael McAvoy, Luke Shepard, Zachary Dean, Brody Livingood, and Braden Henthorn. Well, looked like maybe a little bit of a jump off the line. He realizes it, but there'll probably be a penalty for the 531 of Michael McAvoy out of Chester, West Virginia. And now, Dr. Roach here to help us with some of our 10-second call. I got so busy, I almost forgot Dr. Roach. Senior AB 38-plus class, Michael Hayes, Eddie Seegers, and also Michael Zadell, and, of course, our superintendent of Union County Schools here with us to give us our honorary call. 10 seconds! Good job as the senior AB 38-plus ready to roll. For a man with no voice, you did a great job, man. That was awesome. Dr. Roach, again, thanks again for opening your arms with your community and helping us achieve our goals in Union County. Up next, I believe will be our Vet B 30-plus class. Lyle Morris and Jeremy Gouchard, Will Jones, Wes Spinks, Justin Kerr, Howard Harton, John Salsa, Zachary Phillips, also Brian Basco, Mark Smith, David Pish. We're looking at Kevin Wright, David Napo. 10 seconds! Also looking Glenn Ledford, David Rudder, and Rex Pierce. Once again, this is our Vet B 30-plus class. Riders 30 years of age and older. 365. That's Will Jones from Berne, Tennessee. Again, our guest starter with us today is Dr. Bill Roach, Jr., Superintendent of the Union County School District, attending his first ever GNCC. He's already cheered so much today, he lost his voice. He's still giving it a heck of a try here with our 10 seconds coming up next with our College B 16 to 21-year-olds. 10 seconds! And the College B 16 to 21, Dolan Boylan, Trevor Taylor, Cage Chrisman, Michael Anderson, William Fromont, Tom McLaughlin, Caleb Weber, Ezra Barrick, Kelton Harbin, Dustin Lamb, Como, Cade Vanderpool, Tyler Richard, Nathan Burkholder, and not sure. That might have been Ezra Barrett grabbing that hole shot in the early lead, but we'll sort it out in just a little bit. One final row to go here at the Big Buck. David Kite, my buddy there, Chris Blue. Also looking at Anthony Simonetti. We're looking at Nathaniel Tickle, Brandon Reynolds, Charlie Rogers, William Wallace, Neil Tolston, Nick Maynard, Eric Holofield, Cameron Harbin, Travis Mathias, Ben Danner, Reese Farben, Byron Tuttle, Cody Pazovic. 10 seconds. Also looking at Chris McNallen and John Sutton, Tyler Foster, Ethan Fetro, and James Williams. And our final green flag of this afternoon race waves, and our riders, all 22 of them, headstrong into turn number 1, and it's going to be the 8-13 Tyler Foster from Montrose, West Virginia, grabbing this early lead in hole shot to open up the season and the Big Buck GNCC. Folks, I tell you what, we've got about 2 great hours of great racing ahead of us. Stand by for those of you at home on RacerTV.com, as we'll be back with more great racing action right after this.
We handle your races, your jumps, and your trails. Isn't it time you give your daily driver the same love? AMSOIL Signature Series Synthetic Motor Oil delivers 75% more engine protection against horsepower loss and wear than required by a leading industry standard. AMSOIL also offers a full family of ATV, UTV lubricants, giving you above and beyond fortification for your weekday and weekend vehicles. AMSOIL, devoted to protection.
Here at Rocky Mountain ATV MC, we go beyond selling parts, apparel, and accessories. We take pride in supporting the sport. We're proud to sponsor GNCC Racing and the KR4 team. It's just one more way to show our dedication for the fans and riders of this great sport. RockyMountainATVMC.com. Get ready.
All right, race fans, welcome back here to Racer TV. We are well underway now as Rodney Tomlin got that iconic start going for us here for the Pro Quads. So they're off and rolling. All rows rolled off pretty smooth there with the exception of the last one, bottling up right there at turn number 1, but after that able to get off and racing into the woods. So, again, we are off and rolling here live on RacerTV.com. Thanks for joining us out here at the VP Racing Fuels Big Buck in Union, South Carolina. So, we'll have to keep our eyes open out there. We'll have to see if Walker Fowler can continue his streak coming off the 2016 championship. Taking a look at last season out here at Big Buck, I believe it was round number 4. We were out here in South Carolina. But this season we opened up the 2017 season here at Big Buck. So here we are getting things underway. And last season out here, Chris Borich took the number 1 spot. Bill Balance took second. Barry Hawk took third place. Barry Hawk Jr., the number 49. Walker Fowler, he was back in 4th place with that finish. So he probably looking to podium out here today. And he did take the whole shot this morning. Out in front. And then Bob Sloan, he finished out in 5th place. The number 24 of Bob Sloan finishing in 5th. So that rounded out your top 5 in the overall. Now taking a look back here at the overall wins. That's what I was doing. Overall wins, my apologies. That's Chris Borich has got the most GNCC wins. Taking a look at last year's results, I stand corrected. Adam McGill was your winner last season here at Big Buck. Bryson Neal took second, and Jared McClure took third. My apologies, little mix-up there. But those were your top 3 with the podium riders, the pro guys, last year at Big Buck out here at South Carolina. Again, want to welcome everybody out here with us. And thanks for tuning in here on RacerTV.com, the live feed with the VP Racing Big Buck here in Union, South Carolina. Keep you guys posted on this. We'll get you some race updates as those riders roll through. It's going to be a little bit here before they get through that finish line, but we'll keep you guys updated on that as the day rolls on here. So again, want to remind everybody to follow us out there. So again, race fans, we will keep you updated as the race rolls on. Like I said, going to be a minute or two here before these riders cross that finish line and head out there for lap number 2. Again, our 2016 champ, he was able to get out in front and capture that whole shot. So we'll keep you updated on that. And I'm sure he's wanting to finish this one strong out here and get the 2017 season off and rolling out on top. Want to thank our sponsors, of course, AMS Oil products that help put the racers in the winner's circle are the same products available to our customers. And we also carry a full line of oils for cars and trucks as well, so check out AMS Oil. Rodney, heck of a job at the start, man.
Well, I tell you, a little bit out of tradition as far as starting here at Big Buck, but you know the energy level, I think, on the starting line was as high as it's ever been at any opener, even here at the Big Buck GNCC. The sunshine raining down on us today, just absolutely beautiful blue skies, and temperatures about 60 degrees. Sometimes we've seen them 70, 80 degrees here. Sometimes we've seen them cooler. But those of you wondering whether or not you'd be able to what the racing would be like the first round here at Big Buck a month or so earlier than normal, well, I can tell you it's near perfect right now as we're looking out. One thing that I did notice, and we're going to actually be privy to this on the RacerTV side of things, is we're getting better signals because there's no leaves on the trees at this time, and we're getting longer shots in the woods because there's no leaves to block it. So actually you folks at home on RacerTV.com are going to be the benefactors of us starting this series a little bit early and watching this Big Buck GNCC. I think it's kind of a neat way to ease into the big race too, coming up at Daytona here in well, just 7 days. And a matter of fact, they're all big races whenever you talk about GNCC, but seems like a lot of weight always put on that Florida round. But here we are in South Carolina. Mikey Waynes, welcome to the broadcast and welcome to GNCC Racing Nation. I just want to introduce everybody to Mikey. He has been a voice out in the Midwest. I think you worked with Maxie's for a while.
I did.
And another region.
Crossroads. Out in Indiana.
Out in Indiana. And we were fortunate enough to snag you up, my brother. And we are looking forward to what the new season and the new venture has with you folks, and with you and with the folks at home. And I think that they're going to love you quite a bit. I've already fallen in love with you, man. I love your announcing. I love your work ethic. It's just amazing. And if you were listening to the youth race or the 10 o'clock race, the finishes were some of the most spectacular I've seen in a while.
It was pretty exciting. I'm really happy to be on, Rodney. I appreciate the little shout out there. Just trying to do my thing, fit in anywhere I can, really. Trying to just learn it all, everything from setting up speakers to sitting here in the booth with Rodney. But, yeah, good stuff, and very excited to be a part of the team. So, yeah, again, taking a look out here with the live Racer TV broadcast. It sounds like it's going to be a good one. Like Rodney mentioned, you know, no leaves on the trees. We've got good signal, good sight out there for the camera guys, so should have a pretty race broadcast for you guys. So hopefully you enjoy the show. Again, wanted to just reiterate last season out here, 2016 at Big Buck. Adam McGill took that first place spot, with Bryson Neal taking second and Jared McClure taking that third place spot. So we'll have to keep our eyes on those guys. I'm sure Walker Fowler out there with the number 1 plate is wanting to capture a podium finish, if not take first. And he got off to a really great start taking that whole shot. But we'll keep our eyes on those pro guys as they roll around. So again, race fans, want to thank you for joining us here. Again, we are live on RacerTV.com, so check us out there for the live feed. Taking a look back, Walker Fowler, I believe, last time he won out here would have been 2015, so probably trying to get a repeat performance of that from the 2015. Adam McGill, he took second that year, and Jared McClure took third. So pretty consistent for Jared over the last few years, making that podium. We'll have to see if we can shake things up a little bit here in 2016.
Well, I tell you, Mikey, it is certainly a beautiful day here. We've got some beautiful folks in the house with us as well as this young lady. I actually called her Miss Tennessee, and that was by mistake on the starting line there a few moments ago. And she helped me out there. She is the only 10 I see out there. That's for sure.
That's a good recovery, man. That's real good.
Yeah. Helped him out a little.
Yeah. She did help me out a little bit. I got to give her that. But, again, just welcome out. And Miss Spartanburg, right?
Yes, sir. Sydney Ford.
Sydney Ford. I lost my
Help
note.
him out again.
Help me out again. I need all kinds of help out. There it is right here on this piece of paper right here. But, Sydney, Miss Spartanburg, and you're going for Miss South Carolina, I understand.
I am.
Ultimate goal is to be Miss America, though, right?
Yes, sir. Of course. Always.
So tell me a little bit about the process and how you got to where you are now and what's coming up for you.
Yeah, so I actually competed for Miss South Carolina last year. I got 4th runner-up, so I got in the top 5. I came close out of 56 girls. So I decided to come back and give it another chance. It's a great opportunity. They give a lot of scholarship money. Get the opportunity to present my platform. And my platform is Love Never Dies, offering hope after grief. My dad died when I was 10, so what my platform is about is talking to kids about the grief process and really helping them through it. I also promote the national platform of Children's Miracle Network hospitals. I'll have a bucket with me today collecting money for that because all the money actually goes to our local hospitals here in South Carolina.
That is amazing. And, obviously with your father, I see why,
yes,
and
sir.
you see the need. You know what it's like to be without and to be grief-stricken. But your other platform, what gives you that? I mean, what makes you? What's your desires there?
Yeah, well, a lot of people don't realize that the grief process does tie into the Children's Miracle Network hospital system too. A lot of those kids are grieving the loss of their health, the loss of the life they knew before they were diagnosed with their illness. And so the grief process really is something that's universal, and it's something that everyone goes through. And a lot of people don't talk to children about it because they don't know how to. And so it's really good to talk to these kids and raise money for the hospital and also help all these kids. It's great.
That's great. I'm glad to hear that, Sydney. Now, what's the next process for you? Obviously, Miss South Carolina. After that, if you win that, what's the process?
So if I win Miss South Carolina, it'll be June 24th, and it'll be televised for all the people who are here in South Carolina. They can watch it on their local Fox affiliate. And then I'll be going to Miss America in New Jersey in Atlantic City. So hopefully you can see me on the boardwalk there in September.
Well, we'll certainly be looking forward to that. And, Sydney, it is great that you have made your presence here. Now, is this your first GNCC?
It is. It is. I've never seen anything like this. It's unreal.
So pretty impressed. We're impressed with you as well.
Thank you.
And I'm impressed with your platform and the passion that you show with the
yes,
platform.
Sir.
And I think that's going to go a long way. Even outside of the competition realm, I think what you're doing is just amazing.
Thank you so much. And thank you for having me today. It's a ton of fun already. I
All
love
right.
it.
We're going to see you on the podium. You're going to help present
yes,
awards
sir.
later, right?
Yes, sir. I will. Try not to get sprayed with champagne. I heard that's the thing. So I'm going to step back for that one.
Well, good luck to you on that. And thank you again for being a part of GNCC. And Big Buck, all right?
Thank you.
All righty. That is Sydney Ford once again. She is Miss Spartanburg. She's going to be going for Miss South Carolina, and then she is hoping to be able to run for Miss America coming up soon as well. Rodney Tomlin along with Mikey here, and Mikey, I tell you, it's a great day. We're seeing some things come up. We should be seeing some bikes check through the finish line here soon. We're about 19 and a half minutes, and I was bragging about all these great things that we had going on camera-wise there a little bit ago. They told me there's a couple of little technical glitches they're working out here in the final moments, so just kind of stand by for that right now, and we'll get you more camera shots coming up. As you can see, we're seeing some of the XC2, I believe some of the XC1 coming through here. We are getting close to the end of that first lap, I would assume, Mikey, as we are, 20 minutes now into this race. So, so far, the atmosphere, what are you feeling? I know you were listening this morning when we were talking. Seems like everybody is ready to go mentally, and I don't know, did you get a chance to see these guys physically by any chance?
I did not. I did hear the pro row interviews you had, and it sounds to me like you and I both need to hit the gym a little more.
Man, they make me look bad. I've always been impressed with how great these guys look whenever they come off the off season and get set to face the new year. And generally there's one that stands out above the rest and think, oh my God, that guy's real. But every one of these guys, as great a physical condition and shape as they were in, and as good as they look, they're in even better shape than what they were at the start of last year, at the end of last year even.
Yeah.
It just blows me away. Johnny Gallagher down from like 212 to like 182 or something like that.
That's impressive.
That is amazing. And, last year, though Johnny was a little thicker, I thought he still looked good. Not as good as he had in years past, but he's far exceeded every bit of that now. And they say that Johnny's sprint speed is out of this world. And believe it or not, Johnny is in his 23rd season as an XC1 Pro Class racer. He is Mr. Johnny GNCC as far as I'm concerned. There's no doubt in my mind. Chris Borch looking good. I know he went through a couple different training programs. He was working with Dom from the program. And he said, he's taken that here toward the end as they approached and did some of his own twists with that. So we'll see how that's panning out for him. Walker Fowler, a new training program. Great as he looked last year coming in, he looks even better coming into this year. Cole Richardson's healthy, looking good. He looks fit and trim. Jared McClure looks fit and trim. Landon Wolfe, amazing, looking good. Even a little one of the new guys, Wesley Wolfe, just amazing to me. How much stronger he looks heading into his rookie season as a pro in both XC1 GNCC and AMA Pro ATV, which he'll start a little over a week at Daytona Supercross here next week, or week from Tuesday, I guess it would be. But, man, I mean, these kids, these guys, these men have really, I think, gone above and beyond. And, each one of them probably thinking, man, I should probably have an edge this year. I should have an edge. And I don't know, man. I think they're all coming with an edge this year.
Yeah, I think you take a look at the way they condition themselves, or riders conditioned themselves 10 years ago compared to now, and it's totally different. I mean, you talk about off-season. These guys don't have an off-season anymore. They're down south. They're practicing. They're doing their cardio. They're weightlifting. These guys are absolute, probably some of the strongest, most fit athletes out there, and I don't think they get recognized enough for it like they should.
I mean,
it's incredible.
You think about what they put their bodies through for 2 and 3 hours at a time out there. I mean, it's just amazing. Not only is it the physical endurance, but the pounding and the beating they're taking with the changing terrain and the different obstacles that they have to overcome and ride through out there on the course. It is a rather physically and mentally demanding sport. And on the mental side of things, one thing that can help you prepare for that is a great and quality education, which I know that we get that kind of thing right here in Union County. And joining us now is one of our local dignitaries as well. Again, this is Dr. Bill Roach Jr. He is the superintendent of the Union County School District. Dr. Roach, thanks for being on hand with us, and thanks for helping out with the 10-second call. I know you already lost your voice this morning, didn't you?
Yes, sir.
That was your first experience at a GNCC start. What did you think about that?
It was amazing, to say the least. They tried to prepare me, and they said, you'll just have to see it for yourself, and I think that was befitting.
Yes, Henry's a great guy. Have you ever had a chance to meet Henry before now?
No, I have not. So we saw each other as I quickly approached the start line.
He's an amazing individual. There's no doubt about it. A great person here in Union County and somebody to look up to, there's no doubt. Now, let's talk about you. I know that, you go into all these school districts, and I know my school district, the superintendent comes in. When he comes in, he's got this big, grand scheme. This is how we're going to do things. We're going to make education better in our area. What platform are you guys working with here in Union County? Did you bring anything new when you came?
Absolutely. One of the main things that I've done when I've come in is try to change the culture. I heard that overwhelmingly from my board and from many of the people in the community. They wanted a culture change, and so we've tried to do that. One of the things, matter of fact, I know that GNCC Racing has a anti-bullying program. I would love to talk with somebody about that because we are looking to try to do those kind of things. We're trying to get our kids, when they graduate from Union County schools, that they are prepared for the workforce and that they are ready to be productive citizens. And through that, we want to try to help them learn to be good citizens, to try to push the kind of things that you're doing, the positive atmosphere in schools. And so those are the things that I'm really trying to accomplish this year. And with that, I think you see test scores go up. I think you see kids that are more engaged and happier. And those are what we're trying to do right now.
Yeah, I think a positive mental attitude, the PMA, if you can make that contagious anywhere,
Absolutely.
I think you're going to see huge successes
I agree.
and advancements. And it sounds like that's probably what's going on around here, huh?
I feel good about where we're at. We still have some work to do, but I feel good about what we're doing and where we're at, and I think we are headed in the right direction.
I think so too. And I don't know how many kids from this area actually do like national competitive sports like this, but I know having you be able to come out and see what kind of atmosphere that we have, realizing that, hey, this is a great building process, great character builder. Maybe you can see that, hey, you know, when these kids need off on a Friday, they can get excused for things like that. And it's a good positive thing. When you come out here, you see that kind of thing. And I want to thank you for coming out.
Absolutely.
And I hope that we could get a lot more educators out so they can see what kind of education we're bringing to the world out here as well.
Anytime you can see the commitment that these riders are doing, I know I heard you speak before I was come up here about the dedication that they've done to try to get themselves in a mental and physical shape. Anytime you see people doing that, it's a positive, especially for our kids to see those things, that somebody is that committed to something.
That's awesome, man. And do you guys have a good football team in Union County?
We did well this year. Made it to the second round of the playoffs, and next year we hope to do well. Had a first-year coach, so looking for great things.
Wow, that sounds pretty good. What about basketball? You guys good at the round ball?
We made it to the playoffs in basketball, both boys and girls. So we have had a good year so far and looking for even better things. We almost won the state last year in softball, so our girls are ready for a chance at that again this year. So looking for good things.
Awesome. Well, Dr. Roach, again, thank you
so much.
Thank you for being a part of GNCC.
Absolutely.
Get out there and enjoy some of this great racing, man. See what it's all about. That's Dr. Roach. He is the superintendent of the Union County School District here. And Mikey, man, I tell you, buddy, it's we got dignitaries all around. I feel special. I still feel privileged. And do we have a lap one complete yet? I guess
Not
is the
yet.
big question. We're seeing these riders. We're about, 27 and nearing 27 and a half minutes into the race now. And things are, I think, going to get pretty exciting. I mean, I have no idea. I haven't had a chance to get on the radio to find out who's leading where and what's going on or anything like that. So I think the first indications that we get are going to be a surprise. Now, here's the thing we got to remember, and here they come through the pro pits right now. It sounds like somebody's heading this way. Walker Fowler was leading whenever we made our way out of the first turn. And look at this, Walker Fowler all by himself, at least the full length of the pro pits, and then some, as no one has stuck their front two wheels around that turn heading down VP Fuels Pro Road just yet. Man, and you know, Walker Fowler made the statement, we're going to see who's put the work in this winter on social media about 2 weeks ago. And it was almost like he was calling these boys out saying, see, bring what you got, boys, because I've been working hard this offseason. And as we can see and we can hear, he is that far ahead. That's how far he is. I don't even know how many seconds. That's the sneaky snake right there. Jared McClure is in second. That's Cole Richardson. There's Landon Wolfe in the fourth place position. Bryson Neal in fifth. So second, third, fourth, and fifth. Basically nose to tails they come through there. And there is a few other riders. I believe that we've seen the 521 of Adam McGill there. And if I'm not mistaken, I think that was Chris Borich, the number 3 right behind him. So, wow, what a start here. And what an amazing statement that Walker is making this first round whenever he's got to have at least a 20 to 30 second lead over the rest of the field. And we haven't even finished the first lap yet, man. We're 29 minutes into this race.
Yeah, it's a pretty darn good start. I mean, outside of him, everybody's pretty much within a couple bike lengths of each other. So, yeah, but, man, he, like you were saying earlier, talking about that physical fitness over the summer, everybody looks fit, and it looks like so far Walker Fowler's just setting that bar again.
Well, I tell you, I don't know what, I know he made some program changes over the offseason. There is the 201 Cody Collier, a former youth national champion, a former morning overall champion. That's where he got that number 201 plate and has stuck with that for so time. There's rookie rider number 741, Wesley Wolfe. Behind him, that is Brian Wolfe, no relation there to him. And was that the 19 machine we've seen going back there behind them, I believe?
It was, yeah.
So there are our top 10 at least making their way down through BP Fuels Pro Row, and still as we approach 30 minutes and then some, we still have not seen these riders check in at the finish line. So we are now past the 30-minute mark, this is going to be a rather long lap. Now, I don't know if it's longer. I know that the youth riders rode a mile before they got around a racetrack that wasn't even a part of their rest of the racing. So we may be looking at an instant in a case like that. Here come some of our XC2 riders making their way through as well now. We'll try to get some of those guys sorted out a few moments as they come to the finish line. So as you look at the clock up on the right-hand screen there, we are now 31 minutes, just a little over 31 minutes into this race. And we are still waiting with bated breath from the finish line to find out who in the world is out, how this is all shaken down. We know who's out front. We know how far he is, a long way anyway, not exactly. Seconds-wise, you want to take a guess? I'm going to say 30.
By the time he crosses the finish, you say 30?
I say he's got a 30 plus. Actually, it might be a little more than 30.
All right, okay. Well, then I'll go with 37.
37.
We'll do a
all right, I'll do 30, and you do 7. We'll see where we're at there. 31, working on 32 minutes in this. There comes a wave of XC2 Pro AM riders. Now, here's something to point out. 19 XC1 Pro riders on the starting line today, Mikey.
Wow.
And that was pretty impressive. That's one of the largest XC1 Pro ATV starts we've seen in quite some time. It's been a tradition for some reason here in years past. Once you reach the status of being able to be an XC1 Pro, you just kind of quit. I don't know whether it's budgets or whether it's I don't have a chance, so I'm not even going to try. Whatever the case may be, we seem to have a little. But this year, man, so many riders have stepped up into the XC1 class, and that's really good because a lot of riders stepped up in the XC2. If you remember, we've more than one occasion had well over 30-some riders in the XC2 Pro-Am class, and to see more riders now in the XC1 class is pretty cool. There's the number 1 XC1 rider. That is Walker Fowler, our 2-time and defending champion now, making his way through the final chicanes here at the VP Fuels Big Buck GNCC Amsoil finish line. And there you go. Lap 1 in the history books. Lap time, official lap time, will be 32 minutes, 49 seconds for Walker Fowler. Now, let's see what the deficit is going to be as Fowler makes his way out of the finish line chicanes and back into the wooded sections here at Union, South Carolina. I think our first riders are starting to appear, and we're going to see them into the finish barrels here pretty soon. Here they come. That is second place, I believe, honing down now. And that might be third. We might have had a little bit of a change there. Is that a change? Yeah, McClure is now into the number 2 spot. So Sneaky Snake, or a.k.a. the Cobra, Cole Richardson drops from second to third. Don't know what happened, but Snake was right there on him. So obviously he struck there coming into the final chicanes. A lap time of 33:27. The gap, 38.6 seconds.
Pretty
Man,
solid.
you were daggone close right there.
I'll take it. Closest without going over.
That's
right?
it. 37 seconds is what he said, and it was 38.6. So, man, that's pretty amazing calculations there, Mikey. So, Walker Fowler, Jared McClure, Cole Richardson all checking in so far. Behind them, Bryson Neal in the number 4 spot. Adam McGill is 5th. Chris Borch in 6th. Landon Wolf has dropped now to the number 7 spot. So we have seen some position jockeying taking place. We got a battle coming in the XC2 Pro AM class now. So we're going to get some of those guys, I think, and get you some of the leaders in that. Meanwhile, behind Wolf is new to the XC1 class, Marty Christofferson. Kevin Yoho back to XC1 after a year in the XC2. He kind of laid back and was racing half part-time for the last couple of years, but obviously is coming back in full force here in XC1 to open up the 2017 season. Waiting on more riders to check in through the finish line barrel and our scoring computers to update here. There's Cody Collier rounding out the top 10. There is the 741 of Wesley Wolfe also checking in, and Brian Wolfe right behind him. Again, no relation. Myersville, Maryland, spelled with an E on the end. It's Wesley Wolfe and Brian Wolfe with no E out of Medina, Ohio. Johnny G. Gallagher, 13th. He's 13, riding the number 13, so it's the right spot. But I can tell you right now that Johnny Gallagher is not satisfied with that 13th place position to kick things off. Josh Merritt, I doubt, is satisfied at the moment with a 14th place position, because both these riders coming in this year, I think, with a lot of expectations for themselves, if truth be told. There's Tucker Wyatt checking in now behind Randy Hamilton. Hamilton is new to the XC1 class. He's 15th. 16th is Tucker Wyatt. All right, we got some XC2 Pro-Am guys coming in now, and they are looking like Austin Abney leading Devin Fehan. Fehan expected to be one of the contenders here this year, along with Matthew Lindo in the number 3 spot. So those are those 3 that we're watching. As Abney, rather, is out of Petersburg, Indiana. Fehan out of Windsor, New York. And Matthew Lindo out of Muscatine, Iowa. So we got a good cross-section of the U.S. going on there as far as battles in the XC2 Pro-Am class.
And I know Austin Abney raced a local, I believe, last weekend, maybe the weekend before, and tweaked his hand a little bit. And I was talking to his dad prior to the race, and he said he's a little worried about it, so we'll have to keep our eye on that one. He's out there in front right now, but a lot of racing left for him.
Yes, there is a lot of racing left for the entire field. Kenny Schick, who is expected to be one of the top contenders here today and this year, the 31 machine in 4th place, but amazingly 49 seconds. You know, this is, I don't want to say non-typical, but how often do you see on the opening lap these big gaps start to open up? Generally, on the first lap, even if there is a gap, you don't see them opening up this big, especially toward the front of the pack like this. So we got some either something wild going on. I know they're running through some sections out there. They've got a section that they recently logged. We didn't go through there last year because it was in the process of being timbered. There's some stumps and stuff, but they took a lot of those out. They marked most of those. But that section and sections similar to that, I'm sure, are still going to present those challenges out there. We continue to watch here. Let's check in with some more of our XC2 Pro-Am riders. Kenny Schick in 5th. Bryson Hops at 223 out of Greenfield, Ohio is running in 6th. In 7th, then, the 441, Brandon Eichert out of Hickory, North Carolina. 8th place is the 533 of Jeff Miller from Summersville, West Virginia. Levi Cohen, 9th place aboard the 33 from Millfield, Ohio. 10th place, Danny Rogers, the 213 out of Steubenville, Pennsylvania. Then we got Cameron Bruce and Gus Rickman running 11th and 12th there. And as we look at the overall breakdown of this, let's see how some of these XC2 riders are doing as far as the overall concern. Greg Covert is running 8th overall. He is the leader of the XC2 Pro-Am class, and he is 8th overall. Whenever you look at time adjustments, that will drop Marty Christofferson to 9th overall. Kevin Yoho out of Hopedale, Ohio in 10th overall. Then 2nd place in the XC2 Pro-Am. Austin Abney is 11th overall. 12th overall is 3rd place in the XC2 Pro-Am, the 16 of Devin Fehan. Matthew Lindell is your 4th place ride there, I guess. And that is 13th place overall for him. That drops Cody Collier to 14th place overall. Wesley Wolfe to 15th overall. It looks like Johnny Gallagher 17th, behind Brian Wolfe 16th. Josh Merritt 18th overall. Randy Hamilton and Tucker Wyatt rounding out the top 20 early on here after only one lap of racing. And, man, whenever we go down through the names like that, you just keep hearing big name after big name after big name. And it goes to show and tells me that we still got a lot of things to happen, I think, here today.
Yeah, there's a lot of, like you said, a lot of big names and some of the lower, in the teens out there right now. So you kind of look to see them work their way up the pack.
Now we're going to be keeping an eye this year on several other classes. We're going to try to keep up to date with as many classes as possible throughout the entire race itself. I know it's going to be tough trying to keep up with that and with riders out on the course, but I believe that we'll be able to do it. It's college A class right now. 16 to 21-year-old class being led by the 712 of John Glotta Jr. out of Waxhaw, North Carolina. John Glotta, a former youth champion, and has been a thorn in the side of many since he climbed aboard the big bikes and started racing in the morning race program, which was schoolboy, which he won many of the won the morning overalls as well as many schoolboy races there in the past. And we expect to see big things out of him right now, and that kind of makes me wonder. I mean, we're looking right now with him making his way in. I wonder where he sits in the overall right now as far as the College A is concerned. Don't see him in the top 20 just yet, Mikey, but we are going to look down through here, and wow, he's a lot further back than what I kind of expected. See, there's a Vet A rider that is actually ahead of him, which they started Dustin Hendershot, A.J. Kuntz, who got the lead there. Let's go check out that Vet A class right now because they actually started on row number 3. And the Vet A class, and I'll explain this a little bit to you and familiarize you with a little bit of it. And we're going to talk about the Vet A. We're going to talk about many of our other amateur classes as well as what's going on out here in the woods at the season opener, the Big Buck GNCC, when GNCC Live continues after this.
Maxxis Tires.
At Rocky Mountain ATVMC, we want to help increase rider participation at your next race, rally, or club event with our free Race Gas program. Join Race Gas, and every rider that signs up for your event or club gets a free $10 gift card to Rocky Mountain ATVMC. It's that simple. RockyMountainATVMC.com. Get ready.
Welcome back to GNCC Live as we are now here on RacerTV.com, and Rodney Tomlin along again here with Mikey. And Mikey, I tell you, buddy, we were talking about some of those amateur classes there just a few moments ago, and some of the amateur classes include some of the faster guys on the racetrack, which is this Vet A class. A.J. Kuntz leading that one, the number 28, or if you're looking at your timing and scoring, it says actually says Thomas Kuntz on there, but he goes by AJ. And AJ's actually a former XC2 Pro-Am rider, and he's been on the podium and won many of the XC2 Pro-Am class races. He's been on the podium second and third a number of times as well, so we got real familiar with him. So he, last year, I believe, stepped back to the Vet A 28 plus class because there's a lot of young kids moving up in that XC2 class, and he didn't feel that he had the program that was prepared for the XC1. So he wanted to stay involved with GNCC racing, so he went to the Vet A class, and he met up with the likes of riders like Dustin Hendershot, who is a GNCC faithful for many, many years. And he's out of Washington, West Virginia. The 806, I believe, actually won this class last year, if I'm not mistaken. And or maybe it was the 25. No, it was the 28-plus class. But anyway, Hendershot is a force to be reckoned with here. Then Matt Hanna, another former XC2 Pro-Am class rider out there with us. Jeff Pickens, who's running in fourth aboard the number 36 right now to Shamokin, Pennsylvania. Pickens is a former XC1 class rider, and he's also the husband of 9-time GNCC WXC champ Tracy Checo Pickens, who we saw on the podium earlier this morning, as a matter of fact. We've also got Adam Reed, the number 870. He is, and there's Walker Fowler, by the way, with Adam Reed in fifth. We're going to check in with Walker for just a moment here at the 44-minute mark. Walker, again, nearly at least probably 40-plus seconds at this particular point, so it'll be a while before we see. And there's one of those nice long shots. This shot right here is probably about the farthest out that we've been able to reach here at Big Buck, and we've been limited in years past because of the foliage on the trees, so to speak. But this year with the early race, not near the leaves, no leaves on the trees basically, so that's given us and affording us a lot of extra shots there. As we wait on second place there and see how that's starting to pan out. We got Adam Reed back there, the 870. Travis Austin is also with us aboard the number 414. He is your sixth place rider in Marshville, North Carolina. Mineral Ridge, Ohio's Dirk DeCesar, 354 and 7. Nick Kennelly out of Concord, North Carolina is 8th. Wesley Stone out of Auburn, Pennsylvania. The 61 is your 9th place ride in the Vet A class. Rounding out the top 10, Joseph Bosack out of Penns Park, Pennsylvania on the number 883. Looking at the times and gaps, 10 seconds between first and second, only 2 seconds between second and third, fourth, and fifth, and sixth. So we've got a good battle going on there in the Vet A class. We'll check back in with them in a little bit. Right now, let's keep an eye on what's going on RacerTV.com as we'll go down and check in with yet another class, which I think will be that College A class. Should be fitting, I think, as they started on row number 4, and I'm sure they're starting to work their way up through the pack right now. So we're going to go to that College A class now, Mikey, and it looks like John Glotta Jr. is continuing to lead that. We'll keep an eye on the TV screen as well, and we see that Bodie Lamoureux is running in the number 2 spot. Caleb Hagan in 3rd. 4th place is Michael Schaefer, the 351. 5th place, Tanner Walker, the 926. In 6th place, Dustin Atkinson aboard the 355. That is your top 6 there in the College A class. Here it comes, more riders in the XC1 and XC2 classes, it looks like. We saw Walker going through there a couple of moments ago. We saw and are seeing more now making their way through. And we're going to see, I think, more bunches and conglomerations of riders working their way in packs through the fields. We're having that come through this pro row right now, and it's kind of wild. I don't know, maybe it's timing and speed and things like that, but we seem to have a pack of riders, a little bit of a break, another pack of riders, a little bit of a break, and we got a few of these riders that are on and out, in and out by themselves on occasion. Oh, there you go. So there was one guy, but then a little bit of a break, and look at this. Boom, 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 boom. Nose to tail nearly as they come through this section of the racetrack right here, and not a lot of changes, as I believe that we're still looking at our leader, Walker Fowler, with a now 40-plus second lead over everyone else out here. I know that Jared McClure was running 2nd, Richardson, Bryson Neal, Adam McGill, Chris Borich was 6th, Landon Wolfe in 7th. So that's the way things were really starting to look. I believe Marty Christofferson was in 8th physically on the track, but on time adjustments, Greg Covert kind of had him covered in that particular instance. There's the snake, the cobra, if you will. Walker Fowler so far ahead that we actually missed him on this shot right here, but there's Coltrane, Cole Richardson, Mikey, and look how dry this racetrack is. I know that I wrote in Quickfield the other day, Bryson Neal making his way by. I believe that still puts him in the 4th place position. And was that a change there? Did we see Borich around McGill?
It looked like it, yeah.
Yeah, I believe that now Borich might be up to the number 5 spot. But I wrote in Quickfield there on Thursday about the dry conditions here. And when you came here, we've got a no-fire ban. And unfortunately, especially as cold as it is at night, last night, I mean, it would have been nice to have a fire. But just go inside your campers and motorhomes, I guess, and snuggle up. But regardless, it's dry. But they've been Wednesday, I believe, evening, they actually started watering the roads and some of the field sections out here to try to get some sort of a water base in there. Not that it's going to keep it from getting dusty, but it's not going to get as dusty as quick is one of the key things that we're looking at. Well, I tell you, speaking of track conditions, you know, starting out this morning, it was kind of neat. It was actually a little slick on the starting line for that 8 o'clock youth race because there was a good heavy frost that laid in this morning. I know last night when I went to bed about 10 o'clock, it was really starting to chill down, but I hadn't noticed any frost, and I was a little bit surprised when I did see that. But then, you know, it was wild. You know, you were thinking, what's it going to be like when you go down there to the starting line? And the energy level for the opening round of GNCC was just amazing. Nearly 90 quads to open up the season, and that's saying a lot for a youth ATV championship series because not a lot of those guys with school and everything have the opportunity to get out and miss a lot of days, and I know a lot of them save them for Daytona coming up because they got a lot of riding going on down there. But, man, I tell you, the racing that we saw today was just phenomenal. You got a chance to call it.
It was, yeah, it was a strong performance. There was a lot of our first-place rider in the overall this morning kind of run away with it a little bit, just kept pulling away a little by little as the race went on, but the battle was there between the 2nd through 4th place spots. And, you know, talking to track conditions and it being a little drier, I think this morning might have been the best track conditions all day for those youth riders. We had just enough frost out there. I think their hands were probably cold to get things rolling. But by the time the race was done, you know, the sun was out well enough. And I think, you know, outside of maybe our first-place rider, everybody's bikes looked to be pretty good condition.
And a good thing about that course, too, that I don't think there was any water crossing, so those kids didn't have to worry about getting wet and getting cold.
Yeah.
So that was a good thing. Kudos to our track designers, of course, Jared Bolton and Ryan Eccles for doing another great job as junior trail bosses under the direction of our trail boss, Jeff Russell, of course. And right now, I don't know if we have any footage from this morning's battle or not, and maybe we got a chance to catch up with our winner. But I tell you, folks, we'll have that coming up here in just a little bit. But right now, I know something that a lot of folks may be wondering, and I had a chance to go around at the VP Fuels Pro Row and the CST Tires pre-race report and talk to all these guys and find out what happened in the offseason, what they're expecting this season and everything. So let's go ahead and check in with some of our pro riders who are making their way back, and we'll get a chance to see just how physically fit these guys are looking right now.
Absolutely. Yep, it's a new year, a new season, and hopefully a third championship on the way, but got to start at round one, and hopefully we just have consistent results and get the job done.
Yeah, the first round's always the worst. It seems like that's where all the rumors and all that stuff starts, and everybody just wants to see what everybody's doing, and it's usually like chaos. I mean, it's like every first football game, every first basketball game. I feel really, really, really good.
We're definitely sitting a lot better. We're not sick. Body's pretty healthy, and we're a lot better off coming into this season. So we're definitely a step ahead of last year. So we'll see how this weekend goes.
I guess anxious would be the word. Just not really sure what to expect. I mean, we've been putting in a lot of training in the off season as everyone has, and just hope it all has paid off, and hopefully we can go out there, get a good start, have a good smooth race, and finish where we need to be.
Yeah, Ironman, I ended with the win there, just like the year before. And, it was cool winning the last one, but then you have all winter, you're thinking about that race, like, why'd I wait so long till the last race to win? So, I made it a point over the winter to, stay on my training and, just pick up right where I left off. We're down here to win. We don't want to be behind the ball in the beginning of the year like always.
I tried to be on the bike every day. We were lucky enough to get with Chad Weenan. He has a property really close to our place, and we rode with him a lot. So it was definitely good to ride with somebody that's obviously has a championship, going after championships, more championships, and good to push each other.
Yeah, we're it's really weird, being here at Big Buck. It feels like it's round 4, but the weather's really nice. It's perfect blue skies, perfect riding weather, 60 degrees. So we're ready to go. So we're ready for whatever this Big Buck track throws at us.
Well, as you can see, these guys are all well prepared mentally and physically, Mikey, as they all looked strong. They all sound strong. They all sound eager. And they all have pretty much one goal in mind, and that's being better than they ever have been.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, if you finished top 5 last year, your goal is finish top 3, maybe shoot for that number 1 spot. Same thing. You just kind of a trickle effect on down to, the 10. You finish between 10 and 15 in the top. You want to keep moving up. We heard that from some of the pros this morning when you were doing the pro row interviews. Some of them, I think, maybe set too small a goals for themselves. Had to get a little motivation from some other guys. But, hey, that's just the nature of the sport.
Yeah, it is. And, and it takes these other riders to keep each other in check. And it might be your best buddy sometimes telling you the worst things that you can hear, but things that you need to hear because that's what's going to help. And maybe that's what Johnny Gallagher got a little taste of with Chris Borch and those boys. But Johnny's done it to Chris before, too. Those guys, great training partners, there's no doubt. Now, we were talking about the College A class there just a few moments ago. John Glotta Jr. out of Waxhaw, North Carolina, a 42-second lead. So he's taken, looks like, after Walker Fowler here, as he's opened up a huge monumental lead over Bodie Lamoureux. Now, Bodie and John, I think, were pretty tight going around that first turn out there, but John has really stretched things out. Caleb Hagan, the number 50 out of Tompkinsville, Kentucky, is 3rd place in the College A class. 4th place is Michael Scherer out of Port Orange, Florida on the 351. 926 is Tanner Walker from Berlin, Pennsylvania. 6th place, Dustin Atkinson out of Beverly, West Virginia on the 355. 6th place, number 40, Morgan Flannery. He's out of Mercersburg, Pennsylvania, with 8th place being McCain Jennings, the 517 out of Algonia, Iowa. Then we got 9th place, the 857, Eric Straub out of Tower City, Pennsylvania. Rounding out in the top 10 College A class riders will be James Bison out of Brownsburg, Indiana. A lot of riders from different places there. We're looking at New York, North Carolina, Kentucky, Florida, Pennsylvania, and Indiana. all great cross sections of the GNCC Racing Nation right there. The Junior A class welcoming back Braden Henthorne, a former XC1 Pro class rider. Braden, a couple of years ago, was a phenomenal rider, was really on the rise, and had a pretty bad crash. He was practicing for motocross and for GNCC. He was going to start doing both of the series, and there was this big, massive jump that they had built that was just ridiculous. It went over a fence and over a creek and everything else. Well, anyway, he jumped it, and something happened, and the way he landed, it was such a large jump, and it was so long and so far. When he came down, he hit his chin on the crossbar, and he broke his jaw. And when he broke his jaw, he's never been quite the same rider. He tried to come back, but it was really tough. You know, there was a lot of things going on there. So he sat out a year or so, and he's come back. He's now in the Junior A 22-plus class, and Braden Henthorne now leading this one, 11.9 seconds. He'll call it a 12-second lead over the 5:31 of Michael McAvoy out of Chester, West Virginia. The 27, Nick Mastrangelo out of Newcastle, Pennsylvania, running in the third place. Fourth place is Steve Covert out of Ithaca, New York. In the number 5 position is the 404 of Brett Cover. He's from Beaver Falls, Pennsylvania. Shelby, North Carolina is home to Jake Price, who runs 6th aboard the 151 here in the Junior A class. 7th place, the 724 of Luke Shepard out of Marion, Ohio. That's a miracle right there in and of itself. I'll tell you about in a moment. 189, James Mauger Jr. out of Williamstown, New Jersey is 8th. 9th is Matthew Pittman from South Chesterfield, Virginia. 10th place, the 350 of Brian Thompson out of Summertown, Tennessee. Now, Luke Shepard, a year ago, he is the husband of 5-time ATV motocross women's champion Megan Manshak Shepard, who is now fully dedicated to GNCC only here in 2017. She's been getting her feet wet the last couple of years. Last summer in July, we were racing an ATV motocross race, and there's Walker Fowler in the pits right now, coming in for a pit stop. I'll finish this in just a moment. We're going to see Walker is not pushing any. Look how clean his bike is. I mean, he hasn't ran even through any mud or a creek or anything, it doesn't look like. What's going on? Walker, I thought, made a little bit of a mistake there, but he can afford that. It looks like maybe the gas cap didn't go down right, so he's trying to get that nailed in there. But we'll see here, 40-plus second lead over that. But quickly, while we wait on the rest of these guys, Luke, in essence, had a big crash over the sky shot there. He had a shock brake on landing on the front. It dug in, it flipped him over, and literally CPR had to be conducted on him. I mean, it was a bad scenario. And anyway, he recovered, he's in the hospital for a while. He recovered from that. Now, Luke Shepard is back out racing. He says he's strictly GNCC now, as is Megan. So these guys ought to have pretty good things going on. There's the number 4, Sneaky Snake. He's in for a pit stop. The number 5, Bryce Neal, in for a pit stop. And who is that? The number 3 of Chris Forge. Does that put him up into like a 4th place position now?
It might, yeah.
It very well.
How he gets out of that pit.
The way things got jockeyed around there, I'll be interested to see how things. But I think he came in about a 4th place position into the pits that time, as compared to, he was 6th when they came through a lap ago, 5th when they came through at the finish line, and now I believe somewhere, if not in 4th, he was pushing 4th whenever they came into the pro pits there just a moment ago. Now, taking a look here at when we expect to see these pro riders in at the finish line, it's about another 7 minutes, so we are approaching 1 hour of racing. I am expecting that this is going to be has to be a 4-lap race, I would think. 3 laps would be too little. 4 laps is going to put us a little long, but at the same time, it's going to make for, I think, an exciting race. Of course, we're going to wait for the official word, and I haven't heard anything one way or the other to the contrary. So there's Landon Wolfe. He's lost a little bit of ground here. He was in amongst that field of riders there just a little bit ago, so he's found some struggles out there on the racetrack. But all in all, everything looks good on that number 7 machine. Leaders due in now in about 6 minutes. We're going to check in with some more of our classes here. We were looking at Junior A's and Vet A's there just a moment ago, as well as College A's, as we are now looking over here to the College B's. Let's see, we got another A class here, if we can pull this up here. See, we already taught college. Yeah, we've already ran through all of our A classes except for the Senior A-B class. And right now, let's take a look at this. We only got 3 guys in this one right now. So Senior AB 38-plus class. But these guys, I thought they were going to be a little more competitive than what the timing and scoring is telling us right now.
Yeah, you take a look. You got Eddie Seegers is out in front, and he has got a heck of a lead, about a little more than, looks like 3 minutes over Michael Hayes. And Michael Zedell, hope I'm saying that one right. Still learning some of these names here. He is back in third place, about 5.5 minutes off the leader there for the senior A-B class. So, again, Eddie Seegers is well out in front right now, working on about a 3-minute and 18-second lead. And then Michael Zedell, back there in third place, about 5.5 minutes behind him. So we'll have to keep our eyes on that one as it rolls on. Pretty big separation there between those guys. So more of our riders rolling through now. Should be looking to see those front runners, Walker Fowler, crossing that finish line there, going out there for another lap. He had a pit, pretty good pit. Seemed to leave it a little late, so but he had some time to do that, a little spare time, if you will. So he's doing just fine out there. Pretty healthy lead. And then everybody beyond that was pretty jumbled up there in the pits, but quick splash of fuel, and they're back out there and rolling. All right, so we got Walker Fowler right there coming around.
Yeah, Fowler making his way in there.
Goes.
Yeah, we saw him coming out of the pits, man, nonchalantly gets the 2-lap board there. There's more riders in the pits. There's the length of the lead he has over the 14 machine there. Believe it or not, that is Randy Hamilton, XC1 Pro Class rookie. There's Walker exiting the finish line chicanes now, and Fowler on fire, man. I know that's something a term that we overused, it seemed like so many years ago, but how else can you explain this, man? There's the Cobra, Sneaky Snake, Jared McClure making his way, still in the number 2 spot out there. I don't think we can call it any other way if you want to know the truth there, Mikey.
I think I'm with you on that one. It's just no other way around it. He's just really picking up where he left off last season.
Fowler, McClure, Richardson in just 9 seconds behind that of McClure. Bryson Neal checks in 7 seconds behind him. Right on him, Borich was in the 4th place position, and Bryson got back around him, but it looks like Borich, look at this. This is the battle going on right now. Bryson Neal and Chris Borich leaving the finish line chicanes. Too bad we don't have a helicopter right now, because this is one battle that I would like to at least follow for a little while. Got nice long camera shot here, so we're going to get a chance to see this as Borich trying to go inside, outside. And what a great line protection there by the number 5 of Bryson Neal. A great way to protect himself, but as they go out of sight, I have to venture to think that there's going to be golden opportunities to present themselves for both these riders.
It's a great thing about the woods racing. We don't get to see a lot of that action deep in there, and a lot of times that can be the difference maker.
So right now we are about an hour and 3.5 minutes in, so about an hour away from GNCC first round of racing complete. And as you take a look at that right there, that Yamaha YFC side-by-side, that right there, built to the hilt, if you will. Factory Yamaha, Walker Fowler Racing. That is actually Walker's XC1 UTV car. He will be making his XC1 debut at the first round of GNCC UTV and side-by-side racing. And you see, that car looks nice. He says he's been playing around in it. He told me back in the winter he didn't expect to be a real threat or anything, but I have to think he's had a month since we talked, or 6 weeks since we talked about that. I have to think he's got a little training in that car.
I would agree with that. He'll certainly have his work cut out for him, but man, pretty cool to see him take on both challenges.
And I'm glad to see that Yamaha has stepped up to full factory support in the side-by-side racing, and that machine that they brought out is certainly a competitive tool that they've got to go and try and win a championship on the side-by-side side of things. Well, here we are with the overall right now. Fowler, McClure, Richardson, Neal, Borich, your top 5. Adam McGill is 6th. Landon Wolfe in 7th. Kevin Yoho is 8th. That is our top riders checking in so far with 2 laps complete. Now, Hunter Hart in 9th place. XC2 Pro-Am is what we're expecting in time adjustment with Greg Cover in 10th. We'll find out whether or not that's the case when those guys make their way in. We'll check in with XC2 Pro-Am. And some of our B classes coming up here in just a few moments as we'll revisit some of those A classes when GNCC Live continues from the Big Buck.
You smell it, you feel it, you can taste it in the air. Speed, man. Full wide open. Blast. I didn't really like high school too much. Too booky, too take notes, learn this, and that's it. At WildTech, they had full-size motorcycles. The feeling of taking them apart every day, putting them back together. You can't explain it. Everything I learned applies to now. Seeing your motorcycle that you put together right around the track at 180 miles an hour, oh, definitely rewarding. My name is Mike. My school's WildTech.
Get on the fast track to a career. Turn pro at WildTech.
I'm a sore loser.
I'm a sore loser. Losing is not an option for me.
Be the best.
The best? The best. You have to have the best equipment under the hood. That's why I only use
Cometic products in my engines.
Cometic gasket. Cometic gasket. Cometic gasket.
Cometic gasket, a superior quality gasket
for those of us who demand the highest level of performance.
CST Tires.
And welcome back to GNCC Live. Rodney Tomlin along here with Mikey Down. What is your last name again? Waynes Downs. Why do I keep saying Downs? I was going, that's not right. I knew it's something with an S. But Mikey Waynes, as in Mikey Waynes from the Midwest out there in Indiana. Mikey, we're glad to have you here. And you got that's your Twitter handle, right?
It is. That's Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. It's kind of consistent that way.
Well, that's good to say. And, you know, we were talking about some of the other classes and what we need to do the Mid-State Chevy Midway report right now. We've already gotten several of our B classes and so forth, or A classes in. Let's start with the B classes, and then we'll go back and check in with some of the A classes, which by then should be looking at 2 laps complete in that. So we'll start with our B class being the College B. Looks like we're going to start out here, and we'll get a chance to look at these guys a little closer. But Mid-State Chevy, located there off of I-79 at the Flatwood exit, the official truck provider of the GNCC Racing Nation. They stack them deep, and they sell them cheap. It's Ezra Barrick, the number 333 out of Dover, Ohio, your College B 16 to 21-year-old class leader. 888 Cameron Abey out of Union, South Carolina in second. Third place, the 356 of Cade Vanderpool from Indianola, Iowa. We got Kelton Harbin, the 349 of Greenwood, South Carolina. Fifth place, the 805 of Corey Vanderliner from Millerton, Pennsylvania. As we look to 6 now, 730 Torrin Johnson out of Ravenswood, West Virginia. Seventh place, the 421 Harrison Ward from Hughesville, Maryland. A spot 419 is Emily Wise. Yes, you heard me. Emily Wise out of Waynesburg, Pennsylvania. College B rider. Surprised she didn't get the whole shot in this class. We're looking next at the 172 of Gage Chrisman out of Ford City Park, Pennsylvania. And rounding out the top 10, the 187, Michael Anderson out of Cloverdale, Indiana. As far as the top 3 in this one, Ezra Barrett, Cameron Abey, and Cade Vanderpool, there is 3 seconds that separate the top 3. 2.6 between first and second, and a half second that separates the second and third place ride. Lap times tell us that that's going to stay and remain a very tight and nip and tuck battle in the College B class. Next, we take a look at the Junior B 22-plus class. Got the 127 of Brandon Reynolds out of Burns, Tennessee, with a 17.8-second lead over the 679 of Chris McNallen out of Newcastle, Pennsylvania. Another 14 seconds back to third. The 450 of Ben Danner out of Cumming, Georgia. Then we got fourth place, the 89 of Chris Ballou out of Leoma, Tennessee. Fifth place, 235, William Wallace out of Street, Maryland. Then we look to sixth place, the 359, Eric Holofield. Holofield is out of Bakersfield, North Carolina. Akron, Ohio, home to Reese Parvin, the number 500. He's seventh place, and Reese, a good buddy of mine, he comes from out of the ATV motocross racing world, dabbled in GNCC a few years ago, went back to ATV motocross, thought he was going to give it all up, but came to me this morning and said there's no way that I can get ATV racing out of my blood, so he's back at GNCC, says he's doing the whole series. So welcome to the back to the GNCC Racing Nation to Reese Parvin out there. Currently 7th on the 500, dressed in all black today. 405, Travis Matthias there in the 8th place position. He's out of East Rochester, Ohio. 9th place, the 825, Ethan Fitro from Mannington, West Virginia. 10th place, the 813 of Tyler Foster. He's from Montrose, West Virginia there in the Junior B22 Plus class. Now let's take a look at the Bet B30 Plus class here in the Mid-State Chevy Midway Report. The 413 Zach Phillips out of Parsons, West Virginia, 4.7 second lead over the 886 of Justin Kerr from Waynesburg, PA. We got the 456 Brian Basco from 84 PA, 2.9 seconds back. 4th place, the 410 John Salsa, Warwick, Rhode Island. 5th place, the 559 of David Pichet. He's out of Terrebonne, California, 47 seconds back, but not bad for a dude from California racing the East Coast like that. David Pichet. Then we got Kevin Wright, the 610 in 6th place out of Fairfax, Virginia. Will Jones, the 365 is 7th. He is out of Bern, Tennessee. Mansfield, Ohio, home to Jeremy Gouchard. Gouchard is the number 80 in 8th, 9th place, 698. David Napo from Conley Springs, North Carolina. And Mark Smith, the Glenn Ledford, the 710 out of Conleyville Springs is 10th place. I got a little ahead of myself there. So that was 11th place there for Mark Smith, the 539 machine. Got a good run going there, it looks like, as well in his class. And that's all of our B classes. So let's go back up here and bump into the College A class. This is after 2. John Glotta has taken over the lead. If you remember, he was right there in the thick of things. A few seconds back as he and Bodie Lamoureux were not far off pace with each other, I don't think. Glotta. Now, Drew Landers, who was leader after lap number 1, has dropped to at least 2nd, possibly. We're thinking maybe, but we're going to keep an eye out and make sure. So let's go actually check in with the Junior A. They haven't yet checked in with 2 either. And the Vet A, here we go. We got Tommy Kuntz. A.J. Kuntz is in. He has an 8-second lead over Big Papa P. Jeff Pickens there, the 36 out of Shamokin, Pennsylvania. So there's a former XC2 and a former XC1 rider. There's Dustin Hendershot, 806, a amateur national champion himself. There's Matt Hanna, 901, in the 4th place position out of New Concord, Ohio. Adam Reed, the 870 out of Bealsville. I think he's a minute and 43 seconds back, but he's got a battle going on with Travis Austin. I think Adam might be a part of that big Derisi racing effort down there as well. We've got Adam Reed, Travis Austin only a second apart. Durkin Caesar is 7th in the 411 of Nick Carneely is in 8th. Wesley Stone, the 61 and 9th. And Joseph Bosak still rounding out the top 10 according to our counts anyway at this particular point. Still no Junior A guys checking in. And no College A riders other than John Glotta. And it's been a few moments. So that must mean that Glotta is in Walker form right now out front. And speaking of Walker form, I do want to check in maybe with some of our track crew out there to see just exactly where we may be standing as far as some of the battles going on. Hey, track crew, it's Rodney here from RacerTV. Just wanting to check in with you guys and see how things are starting to shape up out there. Last check I had, it looked like Chris Borch had a real push going on Bryson Neal for that 4th place position. Well, don't everybody speak at once, I guess. So evidently they got their own things going on there. But that is the big question right now, I think, for a lot of us here at the midway point. Let's go ahead and look in and re-familiarize yourself with who is where in the College A class now. We know that Richardson is up to 3rd now. We're hearing now from our camera operator. But John Glotta, Bodie Lamoureux, 3 minutes, 16 seconds. Wow. Glotta, we know as fast as they come out there. And to see what he's done has lend one to believe that Glotta is going to be a major force to reckon with as time rolls on. Bodie Lamoureux in 2nd. Tanner Walker in 3rd. Drew Lander still not checked in from that 4th place position. Caleb Hagan in 5th. Michael Schaefer in 6th. Dustin Atkinson in 7th. Morgan Flannery was 8th. McCain Jennings in 9th. And Eric Straub in 10th. Ten 4. Where are we at out there? What mile mark are we looking at? and 4. So Borch has gotten around Bryson Neal, it looks like. We've got Coltrane running in the number 3 spot. A little bit of a gap, sounding like, to the number 2 position up there, as we certainly are seeing that there are, 42 seconds that was separating the first and second place ride of Walker Fowler and the Sneaky Snaker Cobra back there on board the number 4. So real quick with our final countdown of what's going on in the Mid-State Chevy Midway report, the Junior A class real quick. Braden Henthorn, after 2 laps of racing, a 1:05 lead over Steve Covert, the 25 out of New York. Again, Henthorn out of Marietta, Ohio, former XC1 racer. Been a few years, though. Chester, West Virginia, running in 3rd. Michael McAvoy is that rider. 4th place, the 27, Nick Mastrangelo out of Newcastle, PA. It looks like Brett Cover, the 404, in 5th. Jake Price in 6th. 7th, Luke Shepard. Matthew King, 8th. 9th, James Mauger, and Matthew Pittman rounds out the top 10. That's your Mid-State Chevy Midway report, brought to you by Mid-State Chevrolet, where they stack them deep and sell them cheap, the official truck provider of the GNCC Racing Nation. Now let's take a look at top amateurs right now. We got our XC1 and XC2 riders. We like to call it top non-XC1 or XC2. Chris Borch making some big moves out here. Look at this. He's all over Coltrane. We just caught a glimpse of him. He is solid into that number 4 spot now. There's Adam McGill back in the number 6 spot. So 3, 4, 5, and 6 are right there close together as we watch them make their way through now. And they should be coming up to a finish line, finish up this next lap in about 15 minutes. So they got themselves a heck of a battle going on right there. That might have been the halfway point of that race that we're watching. So right there is Chris Borch on the push and on the move right now. Now, whether or not, I doubt, unless something happens to Walker Fowler, he's not going to catch Fowler. But looking at the math right now, it's conceivable to think that he is going to be able to get squarely into a 3rd place position if he can get around Richardson. And he's only got 9 seconds to make up to Jared McClure. So it's conceivable to think that Chris Borch, with this late race push, could find himself into 2nd place on the podium. And barring no problems from Walker Fowler, if he continues at his pace that he's going right now, he will take that win today. And I tell you, man, Walker Fowler is one of the, when you talk about consistency, Walker is I think, the definition of consistency when it comes to GNCC racing, because this guy, he's on, and he's on a lot, and even if he isn't winning, he's still trying to push for those podiums, and literally, unless he has some sort of mechanical issue, even if Walker doesn't win, he's generally close to, if not on a podium, and that's how he's been able to be a threat for championships leading into his first championship win, and now win 2 championships in a row. And as a matter of fact, we had a chance to catch up with him, talk about that and a few other things.
Consistency. To be the best bad day, and you got to take advantage of the good days and just try to minimize mistakes and keep the bike running at all 13 rounds, which is funny because I've yet to do that yet. Only been make it 12 rounds, whether it's injury or a problem. So I guess, but consistency. At the 12 races I do race, I do very well.
Well, Walker is obviously confident, no doubt, and he has certainly got a plan, goal, and mission he is set for. And one of them, it did not change since he won that first youth title in ATV and also his motorcycle championships back in the day as a youth rider. I mean, he had a goal set for himself. That was to be a GNCC champion someday, and now he's achieved that goal twice. But not only does he want to be a champion, he wants to be one of the greatest, if not the greatest of all time. And we're talking about record from sports. This is some big order, a big picture of things, to be honest with you. But if anybody's going to be able to do it, Walker is one that can. And there's another one in the XC2 Pro Am class that we're going to be keeping an eye on in the future as well. And that is young Hunter Hart, as that young man just made his move up into the XC2 Pro Am ranks this year. I think he's going to be one to watch. Now, what we see out of these guys today, I'm not sure. But I think when we get into the meat of the season, about round 4, we're going to see a lot of interesting battles start to shape up in amongst these riders. Well, right now, we are 12. Well, I was 12. We're 11 minutes and 49 seconds now away from seeing the riders check in. And Mikey, I had said something there a moment ago. Mikey Wayne's here joining us. I'll get that right all the time. But I was talking about top non-XC1 or XC2, or what we call top amateur of the day. Somebody that we like to recognize anyway. It doesn't mean anything. They don't get anything so special out of it except for a big pat on the back. Out of Waxhaw, North Carolina, it's the college A-class leader, John Glotta, who is running 24th place overall. If you look at lap times right now, he just turned a 31:34. Jeff Miller, who is a XC2 Pro-Am rider, and ahead of him on adjusted time at the moment by only about 15 seconds, was turning about a 43-second slower lap than what John Glotta was there just a few moments ago. So if that gives you any indication as to where that rider is headed, he's headed up and forward and through the top 20 ranks here in this first round of GNCC. And I got to venture to think that we can't I don't know where to even guess where this kid is going to stop at in the overall, because if he keeps this pace up right now, if he can get by those guys, he's going to find himself up into close to Wesley Wolfe on time adjustments at that point. And that's going to be a tough row to hoe, I think. Hey, folks, don't forget podium prediction tweets. We're doing it again. Our good friends at AMSOIL are going to offer you up $250 in sweet, sweet AMSOIL product. All you got to do is tweet your podium predictions of the finish. Who do you think's going to get it? You don't have to be right. You just got to put it in, and you got to hashtag it GNCC Live. So hashtag that GNCC Live, your top 3 podium predictions. They don't have to be right, but they have to have hashtag GNCC Live. We'll draw randomly for a winner, and we'll announce the winner toward the end of the show here. And again, good luck to everybody, and hopefully you'll be able to get some of that great AMSOIL product. I use it in my vehicles, and if you're not using it in yours, shame, shame, shame on you, because your vehicle is screaming for it right now.
And I think, just to add to that, I believe they're doing that on Instagram this year as well, in addition to the Twitter feed.
Okay.
So, yeah, same applies to Instagram, pretty much same rules, same hashtag. Just go out there, and I believe instead of our participants tweeting the podium predictions, they'll comment them on a selected Instagram post. So check out GNCC Racing on Instagram for that.
Well, we were talking about youth racing there a little bit ago, Mikey, and I got to tell you, man, as we were saying, there was some exciting stuff, and the finish of that race was nothing less than exciting.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. Like we were saying earlier, I think the first place had a pretty good lead, but the battle was just on from there on down. It's very similar to the race we're having right now, but yeah, you got to hand your hats off to the youth guys this morning.
No doubt. You had a chance to catch up with our first winner of 2017.
Race fans, we're out here with Casey Simmons. Casey, man, just talk to me a little bit about this VP Racing Fuels Big Buck GNCC Round 1. How were you able to capture off this win today, take that checkered flag?
I got started and I just kept her. It's my son's screw.
Heck of a John, you had about an 18-second lead, and you just kept tacking on to that. I think it dropped maybe a second, and then after that, I mean, you were gone. This was your race today. What kind of work do you go into practice to make this happen?
A lot. I go ride at just racetracks all over, and then I wrestle to try to keep in shape, and go to the weight room a lot.
All right, I like it, that weight room. All right, you going to do the same thing down in Florida next weekend?
I'm going to try.
All right, race fans, that is Casey Simmons, your overall winner today. We'll take it back to you guys in the studio.
I tell you, big sigh of relief for that first-time winner, or the first round winner here in 2017. And an amazing, yeah, I did say that. Yeah, turn that off. I can hear everything you're saying there as you talk about me behind my back, Chelsea.
Yeah, they thought they were. They thought they were.
Yeah, so explaining to me a few moments ago, we did make the changes that we are not going to be doing Twitter contests this year. It's all through Instagram, and you must post a picture and comment your podium prediction finishes. So Instagram.
So GNCC posts the picture.
And they just complicate this thing so much.
We're going to have to take Rodney through an Instagram tutorial.
What happened to photo contest?
Yeah.
All right.
But we're definitely not doing anything on MySpace. I'm pretty positive about that.
Do you still have I have a MySpace account.
I don't think I ever have
I haven't
one.
checked it in like 5 years, though. Well, I'm going to have to try this. I don't even know if I know the password to it anymore. All right, so new year, new rules, new things, new ideas, and new approaches. We got to love them, man. Nothing wrong with new, because new is always good. Change is always good as well, and that's what we always look forward to is change. And I think that we're seeing some great changes here in 2017 as we are just about 10 minutes and some change away from, I believe, a white flag. Actually, 4 minutes and some change away from a white flag as my computer is now updating here, and Walker Fowler will be in for 3 laps complete. That lead, just to give you an idea, and I know that part of it might have been the faux pas, if you will, there in the pits there a little bit ago, trying to get the gas cap on. But that lead of 42 seconds narrowed down to just over 26.9 seconds, just under 27. So who knows what this third lap is going to bring, especially if these riders start to hit some lap traffic. Walker Fowler generally does not have issues or problems with lap traffic. But who knows what today's race is going to bring. Look at these guys going through nose to tail right now. And these guys all mean business. It looks like still back in 6th place was Adam McGill. And I got a question. Was that Walker Fowler only about 5 seconds ahead of the field?
I didn't get a good look at it, but, man, if it is, they've made up some time.
I seen a Yamaha go by, and then I seen those guys.
It was Walker.
They have made up some intense time on Walker Fowler. And right now, McClure, Richardson, and you know what? Chris Borich might be in a position to take his first win in 2 years.
That would be pretty exciting.
That would be super exciting. It's been 2 full seasons since the last time we saw Chris Borich take a win. And today, he's got himself in position. But Walker Fowler is on fire as he was in the early part of this race. You got to wonder and think that he's going to be able to find that magic here toward the end. But when we get our camera shots here at the end of this next couple of shots, we're about 3 minutes out from the finish line. When those guys come through, we're going to see an intensity that we haven't seen in a while, I think, out of Chris Borich on the number 3 machine, and maybe even so out of Walker Fowler. I'm sure that whatever happened, lap traffic, mistakes, mechanical issues, just rain fades, whatever, who knows what's going on out there. It's going to make, for us, the race fan, a very exciting finish possibly that's going to give us a lot to talk about over the next 7 days as we get set to roll into Bike Week and round 2 of GNCC racing. Keeping an eye on this pro row section, it's just still amazing to me the gaps that these guys pull over the rest of the field and the intensity that they're riding at. It's no surprise, really, I guess, or shouldn't be a surprise, because how hard they were pushing coming through there. I have not seen that kind of intensity for a couple of years out of that many riders at one given time. You know, you see it out of, you know, I can remember seeing that intensity out of Walker and Chris for a while, and then you seen it start to rise and through the rest of the pack, and then it kind of faded off. Now we're back to just all-out war intensity. I mean, I told you, these guys came in peak physical, peak mental condition this year.
Yeah, I think it definitely speaks to that peak physical and mental condition you were talking about, and getting this far into this race, you got to think that those lappers, maybe they're causing some trouble for them out there. Whatever it was, they've started to close that gap, and we've got ourselves a pretty darn good
All right, coming around the corner here soon should be Hunter Hart, the number 17. Greg Covert, 11 seconds behind Devin Fehan in third. Hunter Hart leading the XC2 Pro Am class, and I believe that may have been him going down through the pro row there just a moment ago. You're looking for, that might not have been him, but Hart, Covert, and Fehan. Matthew Lindell back to fourth after 2 laps. Brandon Eichert is the 5th place rider out of Hickory, North Carolina, the XC2 class. Kenny Schick is in the 6th place. Bryson Hopp, 7th XC2. Jeff Miller, 533 is 8th. Cameron Bruce, 427 and 9th. And number 33, Levi Cohen, is in 10th behind Cameron Bruce, that 9th place rider now. So listening for some radio traffic, and there's Walker Fowler making his way toward the finish line. He keeps looking down at that right tire. Is that a flat tire?
It looks like it. I think you're absolutely right.
When's the last time you've seen a flat tire in GNCC racing since the invention of tire balls and tire blocks and all that stuff? You haven't seen flat tires. I can remember a day when I first started announcing GNCC. We used to have an entire race turned around by flat tires. We would have pit stops that look like a NASCAR pit stop, 4 tire changes at a time. Amazing how that revolutionized our sport to where you don't see the intensity like you used to. But, man, there's something. Now, that can happen sometimes to some of those tire balls go flat or tire blocks get knocked sideways or something crazy like that happens, and you get that little bit of an issue there. But looks to me like Walker Fowler has regained composure, and that gap that he had may be starting to open back up.
I think you're right. I don't know if it was necessarily a flat tire, but it's certainly something that concerned him back there.
Well, it looked like
we saw him glance at it.
It looked maybe a low tire or something like that. Something going on with that right rear wheel back there. And to me, it looked a little low on air, but that could have been at this angle on TV. Sometimes I don't catch
Playing
things. But
tricks on us.
Yeah, but again, I mean, it looked like that could be an issue of some sorts. Look how closely knit these guys are. Borich is back behind Bryson Neal again. So we see that flip-flop around. So the young man is not giving the old champ there any leeway, even though he gets around him. He's got to work for it if he wants it. And that's one thing to say about these riders. They respect their champions and they respect those guys, but those have also worked so hard to try to be able to beat at this level. I know that Bryson Neal was in the youth classes when Chris Borich was winning his championships, believe it or not. And over the course of the last 4 or 5 years, we've seen him make his way into the XC1 class. But he was still in the youth ranks whenever his dream to be a top XC1 class rider was just beginning. And now he's racing the guys that he dreamed to be better than. And he's leading Chris Borich, the winningest GNCC racer of all, of course, 6th champion. Pretty impressive. And look like here, 20 minutes from here's flat track radio in with True. See if we can some radio. Track has last look her up. They know that we'll start things back a little bit. Field almost over now, but the time second takes what's going on. There. Maybe see. I mean, because I thought the rest of Walker gains on him that maybe much as Lincoln what he to have done stretched out from 22nd to 5th. Double that. It's leaving 22nd sprint. But look at that. Maybe have did do it.
Possible lap was out by 3 seconds.
Yeah.
So as these laps have been possible.
And that's amazing. Walker chasing front of himself and into the thing out the rest of this. Was that time I stand that? Hollywood, go with that update one more. Evidently not. They go Hollywood out and got some issues. Okay, trying to get looking for what I guess there, but that I'm seeing things is Nickel and Richard, and George and Gilman. Those guys pretty much nose to tail in that 2nd through 6th position. Right, that's 5 riders right now, and if you look at this, one of these, if you're entering, would like out and get to the guys, and you know, remember days it was 2 or 3. We got guys that are just so ahead of the rest of the field right now, and don't be surprised when we see 7 and 8. These guys are physically and mentally prepared coming into 2017. Here's a point, something to point out to you. After lap number 2, Hunter Hart was running up in the 8th place overall position. Now we see that Greg Covert, I believe, has overtaken that Hunter Hart for the number 1 spot in the class, it looks like, according to timing scoring. Now he's at 8. 10-4. Thank you, Hollywood. That's the 2-mile marker, you say?
Roger that. 2-mile mark, then about 10 seconds back is McGill. I'm headed to the 4.8.
10-4. Thank you, Hollywood. Hollywood giving us the updates here today. And, of course, that tells us, again, we just heard that update. Still McClure in second. No change back there. Richardson is third on the 7:33. Bryson Neal in fourth. Chris Borich is fifth. Adam McGill, the gap is opening up about 10 seconds, and that's what we were seeing there to the 6th place position. He does have a bit of a gap behind him, almost 3 minutes, 2 minutes, 59 seconds back to the 7th place ride. White flag is out in this one, folks. We're less than a lap to go for our leaders. And let's see what's going on in the C2 Pro-Am classes. We've seen those changes take place. I know a lot of folks looking for Hart. He's out of Hart. Hart has dropped to 4th place now. Covert, Feehan, Lindell now in 3rd. And unless there's something going on with transponders and scoring and timing, it looks like something's going on with Hunter Hart. Hey, track crew, looking at XC2 Pro-Am rider number 17, Hunter Hart. According to timing and scoring, he's jumped from first to 4th. He hasn't checked in for lap 3. Have you seen or heard anything with the number 17?
His transponder wasn't working, so I've got to do the backup sheets and make sure I get him put in.
10-4. So something going on, and I thought that could be a possibility, and that might be an indication as to why some of the timing and scoring has been a little bit off. But they have a very adamant timing and scoring system down there, and it's backed up. So they basically go through the backup system and they insert those numbers in the proper places and timing and so forth. So they want to make sure they get it accurate. So once we get the accurate update of Hunter Hart out there, we will put him into position. And according to scoring, it sounds like he is still out front in this one.
Still maintaining that position.
So Hunter Hart still leading the XC2 Pro-Am. It'll be exciting to see how the rest of the field falls in behind him. 8 seconds back, it looks like, to Feehan, and looks like another, 53 seconds back to Lindell. So there's a little bit of a buffer there for the now 3rd place ride, I believe. But still, you can't ever count out too much, and you can't count your chickens before they hatch, so to speak. And one person that probably knows that as well as anybody, because we hatched a lot of them for him last year, I think, whenever he climbed back aboard Old Yeller, so to speak, on board that Suzuki. Talking about Chris Borich, we had a chance to catch up with him a few moments ago. Oh, I'm sorry. They're telling me now it was Jared McClure we had a chance to catch up with. So we did catch up with Jared McClure also.
Yeah, definitely. You always look forward to a new season. Clean slate to start with. Got a lot of training in over the winter this year. Actually, was able to head to my one buddy's house down in New Jersey. Sand, seems like everybody trains in the sand, and it's usually good for us up north to go to Jersey. It's a little warmer, less snow, so definitely got some time in there. And just been putting in the work and really looking forward. Been training hard in the gym, and got a new bike built here, and we're ready.
Yes, and that is number 4, and that might have been the confusion, but he's number 4 this year. It was last year that Borich was number 4, but that's the snake, Cobra, if you will. Jared McClure actually wrapped up the last 2 years with wins, if I'm not mistaken, at the Ironman GNCC. A great way to end the season, and he opens up with some pretty good rides here coming through today in a 2nd place position. When you look at the level that Walker Fowler happens to be riding on right now, I mean, it's just intensity, man. I mean, it brings it, I think, as a race fan, us to a whole new level of viewership and spectating here.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. It's funny, even thinking of like being local Indiana, you hear the name Walker Fowler around town, and kids are losing their minds over the guy. It's pretty exciting to see. It's awesome for GNCC. It's awesome for the riders out there. Couldn't be better.
I agree with you wholeheartedly, and Walker has certainly made an amazing name for himself in the world of racing. And He's known across the board. I mean, 2 wheels, 4 wheels, motocross. He's worldwide renowned, in all honesty. I get a lot of mail and messages, I guess you could say, from a lot of international riders and stuff. And Walker Fowler is oftentimes a lot of the topic of conversation, as is one of his fellow Yamaha teammates in Chad Wienen, who's an ATV motocross star. So those boys really seem to do well for themselves, and Walker has now got the full factory status. He is running his own program over there under factory guidance and everything, and basically, I know talking to Walker, nothing wrong with the programs that he'd had before, but he just wanted to try something with in control of his own program, and so that's what they elected to do. And obviously, not a lot of changes in his program, as he told me in the offseason, and obviously he's picking up where he left off and maybe a step ahead, man. And it's hard to believe that he was able to even find another step, considering what we've seen out of him in the past 3 years alone.
Yeah, it's been impressive. So far, he's off to a great start here in 2017. Looking to just continue repeating that performance.
Well, we'll check in with some more riders here in a moment. 17 and a half minutes to go. And here at the Big Buck GNCC, you might wonder, how does the Big Buck get his name? How do we get these names for GNCCs? And, you know, a lot of it depends on what's going on in the areas and things like that. Well, as from the story told by landowner Henry Turner, he said he purchased the property and the family he and the family purchased the property in 1973. It was him, actually his father, himself, and his son Hank. They spent many memorable fall days together deer hunting on this particular property, and then the first one that would come out to the woods would usually build a campfire, and others would gather around later, and they always ask everyone, did you see the Big Buck? Well, one day in 1981, he came home from work, and Hank told him he wanted to go go-kart racing. And anyway, we went through all that, and he got into racing. And then with this property, he met Bjorn Hamrick, another southern promoter out there, and was able to actually get into the off-road racing world. Got a little bit interested in it. Met Dave Coombs, and then, of course, the GNCC was born here, and had to be fitting to be called the Big Buck, because that's what they were always looking for here, was the Big Buck. And we found the Big Buck in a great race. And we're getting reports, sounds like, that Bryson Neal might be having some problems. That's what I was trying to listen to. Can you run that through me? What's in second? No problems. Neal McClure's the one that may have had the issue, as Neal has now made his way into the number 2 spot.
42 seconds, number 4, and then number 5, 733, and then 3 are all right there, wheel to wheel.
This the 4.8 Hollywood?
10-4, 4.8.
Wow. Did you hear that, Mikey? That is amazing. Mikey Waynes, we just witnessed and heard the big change of their the second, third, fourth pack, fifth place pack. They're pretty tight right now. And did you hear the changes taking place? I mean, Richardson had dropped back. It sounded like that Cole had his moving up and back and forth throughout this entire race. I mean, these guys have been jockeying like this, and to get the first-hand accounts to know what's going on there. So we got 42 seconds, they said, still between, well, it's dropped to 42 seconds. It was 52. Now it's 42 seconds between the first and second place position. We got Neal in there. We got McClure in there. It sounded like McClure might have gotten back up to second, Neal back to the number 3 spot then. But we did have that change take place for a moment, so it sounds like they just keep flopping back and forth. And I would imagine that we'll probably be prone to hearing radio reports like that more than one time before the checker flag finally flies in this one in some few moments. There's McClure going by now. There is Bryson Neal. He is in that number 3 spot just as anticipated, so he dropped back again, as we pointed out. There is, and look at this, that is the 733, and that is Chris Borch. Borch makes the pass on the 733 of the Coltrane, so we just watched that pass into what would be now, I believe, the 4th place position. So it's Fowler, McClure, Neal, and Borch, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and a little bit of a gap up to looks like Bryson Neal, but one that I think that Chris Boric can gap and put the pressure on pretty quickly here, Mikey. So we're going to be keeping an ear and an eye out on that one. Just FYI, we just witnessed Chris Boric, number 3, go around the 733 to take over the 4th place position. So we'll get some more updates. Get some more updates coming in here. That last update was a 4.8. I'm thinking we might be looking at the possibility of somewhere closer to an 8-mile marker here in just a few moments. All right, so we're out by the finish line. This gives me a great opportunity here to run through some of these other classes to let you know how some things are breaking down here as the race progresses, Mikey. Let's look at that overall again. Looks like College A rider John Glotta has busted into the top 20 overall after 3 laps of racing complete. That's pretty formidable. He started on road number 4 today. I'm not sure where that puts him physically on the track, but time adjusted, he is 20th place overall. All right, let's check in with the rest of our classes here, and still waiting to have some updates done in some classes. So let's go to the College A class. John Glotta leading that. 4 minutes, 36 seconds is the gap between the 1st and 2nd place. His first race in this class, I believe he was riding Schoolboy 13 to 15 last year, if I'm not mistaken. It was one, and he won the championship and was a contender and maybe even won some morning overall races last year. And Glotta steps up straight from that Schoolboy class into the College A class, is leading, and not only leading, but doing so by pushing 5 minutes over the rest of the field. That's almost, a minute and a half or better a lap or so? That's amazing stuff that he's got going on there. Minute 25 anyway, faster lap. Michael Schaefer runs in 2nd aboard the 351 out of Port Orange, Florida. He's going to be a beast when we go down to Daytona next week. Tanner Walker, the 926 out of Berlin, PA, is in 3rd. Bodie Lamoureux in 4th. Then we got Caleb Hagan in 5th, Morgan Flannery in 6th, Dustin Ankins 7th, Eric Straub 8th, Weston Scott in 9th, and Nick Royalty rounds out your top 10. I haven't read the name Nick Royalty in quite some time. That's good to hear that one. Junior A class, Braden Hinthorn continuing to lead 107 over Steve Covert, the 25. Michael McAvoy is running in the number 3 spot with Mastrangelo in 4th, Nick Mastrangelo, the 27. James Mauger rounds out the top 5 in the Junior A class. Quick rundown here in the Vet A. A.J. Coote still leading Jeff Pickens. When they came through last time, guys, .609 was the gap that separated A.J. and Jeff Pickens. And, man, it's going to be interesting to see how that one fares out. 32:23 for Jeff Pickens last time around. He made up some time on A.J. Kuntz with a 32:31. Then we got Dustin Hendershot back in the 4th place position, 1 minute and 33 seconds back. Matt Hanna is 4th. Travis Austin rounds out your top 5 in the Vet A class. Hey, we're ready. Go ahead, update.
We're at the 7-mile mark, and Walter Fowler still got that big lead over the number 4. 3rd place is still number 5, about 3 seconds behind the 4, McClure. Then Boric still just 2 seconds. He's right on Bryson Neal's heels. And it's about 8 seconds back to Richardson and about another 4 seconds back to Adam McGill. These guys are all pretty close together coming around.
10-4 bolt on. Thanks for the update. And so Boric has solidified. Looks like Richardson maybe trying to rest up here in these closing moments. Looks like everybody else is pretty much on pace there, as I think Adam is still running some 12 seconds behind that pack right now. And only about 5 or 6, 7 seconds ahead or behind, looks like the 733 there. So good stuff going on, and still plenty of things to happen before the checker flag flies in this one. I think it's pretty much a given at this point that Walker Fowler is going to win the season opener. It's not 100% secured and guaranteed. We know that, and I don't mean to sound like that at all. But if everything continues on the pace that it's going right now, Walker will win this opening round. And then that leaves that 2nd place position still up for grabs and up in the air. And I tell you, it's going to get intense coming down to the checkers. Speaking of checkers, these guys are going to get pretty intense, too, as we're looking at Eddie Seegers, Mike Hayes, and Mike Zajal in the senior A-B class. That's your 3 in that one, top 3 in that order. Cade Vanderpool leading the college B class with Kelton Harbin in second. Cameron Abey. Whoa, what happened there? Abey, if I remember right, was leading this class, or at least a little closer to the front of the pack. It's only 26 seconds back, so maybe not really having too many problems. I might be remembering a little different than what was, but I know Cameron is expected to be one of these top formidable opponents in this college B class, and that's exactly what he is right now. By the way, Abey is from right here in Union, South Carolina. He's a hometown boy. He also helped us at the school visits. He also helped promote the event by putting posters and stuff up. So thank you, Cameron Abey. Logan Weisenhower, the 408 and 4th out of Ortona, Pennsylvania. And 5th place is Michael Anderson, the 187 out of Cloverdale, Indiana. That has nothing to do with that Cloverdale movie, right? That was a scary.
I don't think so.
Oh, that was a scary movie. That was a real scary movie. Junior B. Junior B 22+ class, Brandon Reynolds, 127 out of Burns, Tennessee, only 12 seconds over Chris McNallen. McNallen is leading Chris Ballou by nearly 30 seconds, the 89. 4th place, the 450 of Ben Danner, and rounding out the top 5, 235 of William Wallace. Vet B class, Brian Vasco leading Zach Phillips, 54.5 seconds. John Salsa, under 37 seconds back. 4th place, David Pichet. I believe he might have dropped a spot there. And Jeremy Gouchard, the number 80, rounds out the top 5. And that's your Vet B class, and that's a rundown heading into the final and through the final lap of racing here at the Big Buck GNCC, presented this weekend by our good friends at BP Racing Fuels, who's making power. And, friends, I tell you, this is the warm-up to the now second round of the season, but the kickoff to a lot of the racing season for a lot of folks with the Daytona Bike Week coming up. I know that we got GNCC racing Saturday and Sunday. We're going to be broadcasting that at 1 o'clock. Then on Monday, we're going to be shifting over to Daytona International Speedway, where we'll be doing amateur Ricky Carmichael Supercross. Then on Tuesday, the Fly Racing ATV Supercross will be live on RacerTV as well, and that's all going to be right there in front of the fans. So if you're going to be down there, come watch it. If you're not, watch it on RacerTV.com. Starting next Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, 4 great days of race coverage on RacerTV.com.
I know, talking to a lot of the fans out there this weekend, everybody seems to be treating it like a vacation. They started their weekend here in South Carolina. They're jumping ship and heading on down to Florida to join us down there. So I think this worked out pretty well starting out here in South Carolina.
I know that we're just moments away right now and looking for big things. Folks, don't forget, we'll be back live tomorrow as well with two-wheel action coverage. As someone posed a question to me, can Caleb Russell get a perfect season? My answer to that, man, he's about as perfect as they come, but it's going to be tough. If anybody could do it, he'd be the one to do it. But there's going to be a lot of thorns in his side, and I think those are going to pop up first thing. I think we're going to be really surprised at the level of competition that Caleb is going to be under, but at the same time, surprised at how much Caleb has been able to rise to the occasion as well, because talking to a lot of people, he's pushed the envelope knowing that Thad, that Josh, and that Ryan Sipes are going to be coming. And speaking of Ryan Sipes, yesterday, he's hungrier, said he's training harder than he's ever trained in his racing career.
That's impressive. That's very impressive.
It's toward the end of his racing career. I mean, he had such a bad year last year. It wasn't bad, but some ups, some downs, I guess, some bad luck, that he said he's coming back with a vengeance here in 2017. So tune in tomorrow. We're going to have a great 1 o'clock race here on RacerTV.com. And this one right here, just as great as we look. We are now 4.5 minutes out, looks like, Mikey, from having our checker flag fly, the first checker flag for the XC1 Pro class here in 2017. It's hard to even believe it's 2017, as a matter of right now. Is the way, and I think that's the first time I made that mistake today. Walker Fowler through the pits. Put a stopwatch on that boy. 4:07 to the finish line for Fowler right now. We'll know more whenever he comes, when the rest of the field comes through. So Jared McClure, Cole, well, actually Bryson Neal, Chris Borch, then Cole Richardson was the last report we had. They were running some 50 seconds to 40. I've heard 42, 52, and heck, we could be even at a minute at this point. But right now we wait with bated breath. We got about 4 minutes between the pits and the finish. So there's McClure. So at 4:07 was when Fowler was through, and 3:26. So we're looking at 31 seconds. So the gap has closed up a little bit. 31 seconds. Who was that? I was glad my eyes closed doing math. It was Borich, and I believe right behind him was Bryson Neal. Actually, Neal was just ahead of Chris Borich there. So Neal and Borich are still battling for that third and final podium position right now. That's another thing to point out. If Chris don't get on in the center of the box, which it's pretty evident he's not, unless something happens big here in the next 4 minutes. But, he's got his hands full, and he's still got an opportunity to move up into a podium position finish. And to do that would be another great feat, especially when you look at the way this race has unfolded today, man. It's been very competitive.
Yeah, there was a lot of back and forth between basically, second on down to fifth place. We saw that a lot when the white flag first came out. And with 4 minutes left of racing, a lot can happen.
It most certainly can. We've seen it happen. Walker Fowler can tell you a lot can happen between the pits and the finish line, as he was one turn away from capturing the championship away from Chris Borich when he captured his 6th championship, stopping him at 5. One turn away, but Chris was able to best him in the championship and take that 6th championship title. But since then, man, it's been all-out war. Walker Fowler's had bad taste in his mouth about losing, and I think it's pretty obvious and pretty evident. He's going to be tough to beat for some time. Even though he is beatable, it's going to be tough to do it. But these guys, they're going to find his number, and they're going to dial him in. It's going to get good as the season wears on. I don't think you can be – I hope not anyway, that we're going – I mean, nothing against Walker and being able to – I think that's cool. Love your athletic ability. But from a fan standpoint, we like to see it tight. But we also like to see this every once in a while too. Well, Mikey, you get on down to the finish line right now. Get us ready for podium presentations and things like that and get everything set up. Appreciate your hard work and your dedication with us today.
Excited to be on. I'll see you at the finish.
No doubt. Mikey Waynes making his way up to the finish line for podium presentations here in just a few moments. Great race caller and a great new partner here in the world of GNCC racing right now. And we'll congratulate our Instagram winner again at Payne F. Doob. Okay, we'll get the graphics fixed on that in the future. That's Payne F. Doob. Okay. Congratulations. Now, tell me, who did he pick to win? I'm curious. Oh, King of Doom. How did you get that out of that, King of Doom? I'm just relaying messages. King of Doom. Okay. Fowler, Richardson, Neal. But you don't have to be right. That was his guess. Payne of Doom. Dude, that's a heck of a name there. I'm never going to forget it. I'm going to call you a million things. King of Doom, Payne of Doom. How about Payne of Doom? All right, Payne of Doom, congratulations. Our Instagram winner. We got $250 in sweet, sweet AMSOIL product that's going to be coming straight to your mailbox, my friend. And thanks to AMSOIL, the first in synthetics, our title sponsor. And, of course, man that helps pave the way for this guy to come out and do exactly what he's doing right here. Walker Fowler making his way through the final turns here at the Big Buck GNCC. A historic day of racing as our first round, and a historic day for Walker Fowler as he takes the season opening win here in South Carolina. And he does it by, wow, a big, big margin over the rest of the field. Where are the rest of the riders? I do not know. We're going to see them checking in here in just a few moments. That last check, Walker had a 52-second lead at the end of the last lap. We calculated it closer to 30 seconds at about 4 minutes ago, but at the same time, a lot of real estate between the pro pits and the finish line region itself, so we could see a number of things transpire. There's McClure in the number 2 spot as he his way through those final chicanes, and will take the number 2 spot. A win at the final round last year, opening up with second. And, of course, as we open up here for a third-place finish, it is going to be Bryson Neal, the Bidwell Bullet, keeping just ahead of Chris Borch, who was right on his rear wheels rolling through the checker flag. And Chris Borch will take fourth place, and Adam McGill will wait here, but Cole Richardson will finish up in fifth. I believe unless something happened to him there on that final lap of racing. We saw that he lost a lot of time. Adam McGill was running sixth, so that's going to be up in the air for those guys. But, wow, what a day. We saw and heard reports that Chris Borch was ahead of Neal. We seen him get the pass on the 733 out there a little bit ago. So an amazing feat and some amazing rides by all of our riders. It sets the stage, as far as I'm concerned, to an amazing and up-and-coming 2017 AMSOIL GNC Series. Folks, if you were not planning on coming to Florida next week, I think after witnessing this one ATV race, you're starting to pack your bags. You're getting the fever. The itch is starting to, well, you're really wanting to scratch it pretty bad, and the only way you're going to do that is pack those bags and head on down to Florida. We'll be down at the Rodman Plantation for the Wild Boar GNCC, and of course, that's just moments away from the Bike Week festivities, so come on down for the party and enjoy it all. It's going to be a great, great time all next Saturday and Sunday as far as GNCC racing is concerned. Again, we just wrapped this one up. Walker Fowler, 42-second flat. He gained another few seconds over McClure after the pits, but 42 seconds flat. Walker Fowler over Jared McClure. Bryson Neal, 7.3 seconds back in third. Chris Borch, less than 1 second. 0.8 of a second behind Bryson Neal. Friends, we have got ourselves a championship battle that is a brewing here in the ATV racing. And it's some really cool things. And one thing to point out about Cole Richardson, it looks like he will drop off to sixth place. As Adam McGill gets around and goes into the number 5 ride. Last year, if you remember, Crohn's disease was a big issue for the 733 of Cole Richardson, and they didn't know. I mean, it's something that they knew he had, but something that flared up, and they gave him a lot of problems. And then there were some other issues that developed out of, and because of that, and there was a lot of rounds that, you know, he went and gave it his all and was pretty good for the first hour and a half. That last half hour, he would pretty much fade away, maybe even the last hour, but he put in enough effort last year to still be one of our top 10 riders as far as the series was concerned, and just an amazing feat by that young man. And coming in healthy, one has to think that he's got some great things ahead as far as 2017 is concerned, but not only him, but a lot of great things for a lot of great individuals in the GNCC Racing Nation. We'll be back with podium presentations as well as a whole lot more when GNCC Live continues.
We have races, your jump and trail. Isn't it give your driver the same love? AMSOIL Signature Series Synthetic Motor Oil delivers 75 more injection against power and wear required being industry standard. AMSOIL also offers a full family of ATV, UTV lubricants, giving you above and beyond fortification for your weekday and weekend vehicles. AMSOIL, devoted protection.
Rocky TV, we go on selling a access. We pride in the sport. We're sponsored GC and our 4 team. It's just one more way to show our dedication for the fans and riders of this great sport. RockyMountainATVMC.com. Get ready.
Maxxis Tires.
Mountain EMC, we want to increase participation at your next Rally Club with our race program. Join us and ride us for your club. Get a $10 card to Rocky Mountain ATV MC. It's that simple. RockyMountainATVMC.com. Get ready.
You smell it, you feel it, you can taste it. Speed, man. Full wide open. Blast. I didn't really like high school too much. To take notes, learn, that's it. Got wild tech. They had full-size motorcycles. The feeling of taking them apart every day, put together. You can't explain it. I learned it now. Senior that you ride around at 180 hours. Oh, definitely. My school's Wyotech.
Get on the fast career pro at Wyotech.
You have the best under the. That's I use
Cometic for my engine.
gasket. At a gasket.
Kinetic Gas, a superior quality gasket
for those who demand the highest level of performance.
CST Tires.
Whether you are looking for a 150 class or 600 class deer, X Factor Whitetails can suit your needs. We offer guided weapon of choice hunts for all groups of all sizes. From the time you arrive at our location, you'll get the 5-star service. We boast the capability of sleeping over people come.
Want to save Memzox and specials from an L preferred customer? Memzo.com's Peace to learn more and the family.
And back to GNCC Drive in studio. Mikey is heading on down right now to get going. Our GNC caller here, he's way down podium to our talkers here in full hit country left as far as buck is concerned, my friend. Johnny Gallagher participated in the very first ever big buck GNCC as an XC1 Pro Class rider, and he participated in it again today as an XC1 rider. This is his beginning of his 23rd season as an XC1 Pro. We want to imagine the gal that taking third over looks like he won the F1 class. So congratulations, GNC. I also want to remind you, if you remember a year ago, Bryson Neal was on his way to winning his first ever big buck GNCC until Adam McGill made a cut to take the last mile race, and actually only go to must a place here to Neal to get the third position. So even to get the whack on them and beat the guy that beat him last year in Adam McGill. So that's pretty interesting news of notes. Some records that we'll be looking at as far as the upcoming season is concerned. Walker Fowler is currently ranked 4th in the all-time wins with 25. Now 26. Walker is cut off, and all-time TV and next time all-time TV belongs Barry Hall. He had some 60-some overall wins, like 68 or whatever overall wins. But that's motorcycle and ATV. But ATV wins, he has 49. Bill Balance is second on the all-time wins list with 67. And then Chris Borich has the most wins at 73. So you start doing the math right now. Walker Fowler's got a long road to get to a 3 win. Look, he's at 6, and he's more than a way there. Like to one win 26. By the way, Bone is still in the ATV all-time wins record at 24 wins. Bob Sloan, the Ironman, whom the Ironman GNCC was named after so many years ago. As we said, Adam McGill took the win here last year. Neal was in second. McClure was in third. The only change to this is that Walker Fowler in the center. Neal back on again here, but kind of flopped down as well as McClure gets second, takes third. As we can see, our final preparations being made down on the podium. We'll be heading down there in just a few moments to let you know what's going on there. I want to remind folks that you want to be sure and tune in, keep up with things on maybe tomorrow. We'll that live show on once ago. We got next Sunday racing on Saturday. Ricky Carmichael Amateur 2-wheel Supercross on Monday, and ATV Supercross by Fly Racing there on Tuesday at Daytona's Bike Week. Should be an exciting time, no doubt about that. Walker Fowler is checking out the big knife. Look at that. He's sliced that knife's got handcrafted a deer. The blade is handed and carved from a sawmill blade. It's actually got pits of rust in it. I mean, if you just see the look of this particular knife, it is a very unique knife. It is very cool, and one that I'm sure a lot of people are hoping to be able to achieve at some point today. Well, I took ready down to the photo Wayne by this Ford there to help him out with trophy presents. So let's down to get our impressions. Mike's RacerTV Racing.
Thank you, Rodney Tomlin. Helps when the microphone's on. How's that? Kenny Hill, you getting a good shot, brother? 3. All right. So I have got Miss Spartanburg, right?
Sydney Ford is up here. Sydney Ford, Miss Spartanburg, she's going to present our trophies. We're going to start things off with Bryson Neal taking third place here. That's you. I'll switch you spots. First of all, let's give it up for all top 3 riders today. Make some noise. Kenny, you want me to get them their trophies, get them together so you get a shot? Just roll on. I got you. All right, so you can hang out down here. You don't have to run away. I think you scared her. Was it you or was it me? I don't know, man. You're fine. Hang on to that. Hang out with us. So, Bryson, man, talk to me. You guys, I mean, there was a battle between second place, I think, on down to 5th maybe today. You guys were all just duking it out. So talk to me a little bit about the track conditions today, the competition, and how good it feels to be back out here racing in 2017.
Oh, man, I tell you what, it's a beautiful day here in Union, South Carolina. We got off the start, it's about mid-pack, and, I mean, there's about 5 of us. We's on a freight train. We's all rolling together. Riding in the clay today, I've been riding down in Florida, and I was riding a little bit tight on the beginning with the roots and the slickness and a little bit of tacky. For about halfway through the race, after we pitted, I picked it up and put myself in 4th place, and on the last lap, I was able to make a pass and take over 3rd, and I just rode my race, protected my insides, and we brought her home. So it feels really good to be up here on the podium, especially first race of the year. So it feels really good. So I'm happy I could do that.
Well, big congratulations, man. Not going to get a whole lot of time off. Right back out at next weekend. Who are your sponsors you want to thank today?
I'd like to thank my dad, my mom, the entire Coastal Racing team, Barry Hawk, Scott Kiger, Tyler King, Peach, my buddy Peach, Tyler Ward, Mikhail, everyone who helps us out, in the pits, FMF, Max's Tires, Lone Star Racing, Evans Engine Coolant, Seat Concept, Super V Batteries, Twin Air, Waynesburg Yamaha, Bel-Ray, Liette, Answer Gear, Garnet, EKS Goggles, Bell Power Sports, Henson Clutches, Axis Shocks, Micah, DWT Wheels and Wheels. I'd like to thank also anyone else who I forgot, Mika Handlebars, the Cervix, everybody who helped us out today, pointing lines, all the fans. Thank you very much. It means the world. Thank you.
There you go. Race fans, that's 3rd place finisher Bryson Neal. Follow me, Sydney Ford. Miss Spartanburg, right here. He does? Oh, there we go, right here. 2nd place. He'll make it official. There we go. You hold it. Photo op. All right. I'll squeeze in here. I'm not near as pretty as she is. I'm going to apologize for that right now. Is that all right? Nah. No? All right. You want to do it? Here, switch me. All right, so, man, talk to me. 2nd finish today. Like I was talking to Bryson Neal a moment ago, you guys were all battling. I mean, that 2nd place, 5th place spot, it was just fluctuating, tire to tire at times. So walk me through that. How are you able to get up here into 2nd today?
Yeah, like you said, we had a pretty good battle early there. I think I got into 2nd on the first lap. You know, the bike's working really good. I had just some help from Jay Goble with these Elka shocks. I mean, it just floated over everything, you know. I'm not even tired, man. It was a good day. It was a battle, though. You know, I noticed those guys were, they kind of reeled me in on this side, which was a little faster. You know, I think I struggled a little bit there, and then in the tighter woods on the right side here, I'd gap them a little bit. So, you know, it was kind of like back and forth all day. But I just kind of kept calm, and you know, I was more trying to focus on catching Walker. But you know, he just set a blazing pace, and it wasn't going to happen.
Well, hey, man, still heck of a job. 2nd place today. First race of the season, a lot of racing left. Who are the sponsors and folks you want to thank today?
I want to thank my mom and dad, for sure. My girlfriend Sierra at home, she couldn't make this. Everybody came with us, helped us out. My buddy Wee Man, Robbie came with his family. Coyote out helping in the lines, all the guys out helping in the woods. John Bowers builds my engines, Bowers Motorcycle Supplies, big supporter. Foley. Got to thank him too. ATVriders.com. And then, like I said before, Elka Suspension, DWT Tires and Wheels, HMF Exhaust, Spider Graphics, Texera Tech. His suspension's awesome. Quad Tech, Impact Solutions, Motorcycle, Dirtworks, Top of the Podium, Sunstar, Moose Racing for the gears, awesome. Baldwin, this motor was awesome out here on these fields. March Pataro, Motor Pro Training, Precision Racing Products, KG Power Sports, Ryland Johnson Racing makes our skid plates awesome setup. You know, they're bulletproof. Scott Goggles, Dark Star MX, Works Connection, Power Mad. I think that's Weisco, Motion Pro, Pivot Works, IMS. You know, and I think that's about it. And thanks for the fans for cheering. You know, it was cool seeing everybody out there pumped up.
All right, there you go, race fans. Second place finisher today, Jared McClure. Oh, here we go. We're going to do this first. Yeah? Yes? Might as well. Okay, here, I'm going to let you present that since she's a lot more popular than I am today. How about that, man? So there you go. ATV Whole Shot Award here. Round 1, Big Buck. Give it up for Walker Fowler. Thank you, Weisco, on the Whole Shot Award. I'll switch your spots here. Man, don't drop that. You guys got safety glasses on? No? That's pretty awesome. That is pretty sick. So when you're done winning a race, you can go out and gut a deer. I get it. Yeah, that's cool, man. All right, so, hey, talk to us about the track today. You finish out there in front. I think at the most you were up on them about a minute. They shaved it down to about 20 seconds, but, man, it was your race today, so just walk us through that.
I just, this bike fires up good. We've been testing pretty good, hard, and didn't change too much, just comfortable. And I just knew today with the fields being a little dusty and the woods being pretty fast, it's hard to make passes here, especially the first race when everyone's testosterone levels are higher than Lance Armstrong's. And, you know, it's bumper cars in the back, so if you can get out and run your own race, that's, you know, a strong place to be. Get out front, and I felt good, and then slowly kind of went downhill. We got some things we got to work on, but, yeah, just put it on cruise control and brought it home.
Well, heck of a job, man. Rodney kind of talked about it earlier today when he was with you guys in the pits, about the physical, you know, regimen you guys go through, and you kind of called everybody out. Yeah, no, a few weeks back and saying, you know what, we're going to find out who worked hard, and I think you proved it, yeah?
Yeah, you know, I don't overtrain, that's for sure. I know my limit, and I just keep it fun. I know I have work to do as well, but I'm in a good spot for sure. So, you know, Florida is a very physically demanding track, and we got to get off this podium there and get on a side-by-side and try to be just as good. So that's going to be tough, but we got a week to get everything dialed in, and, you know, I think we're going to have a good weekend next week. I really was skeptical about having this be the first race, and honestly, it was really awesome. So the fans here were spectacular. Look at this crowd. When's the last time we had a crowd this big? The fans were just awesome. Thank you guys so much for cheering us all on, and we had a good day.
There you go, race fans. Sponsors you want to thank today?
I definitely want to give the glory to God and just thank him for this beautiful day. Got a big shout-out to my mechanic, Mark Notman. He put in so much work between the four-wheeler and the side-by-side. And without him and his family, I definitely wouldn't be able to do what I do. Definitely my mom and dad, they're the backbone of my program. Got to give it up to the whole WFR Yamaha Maxxis Fly Racing team. We ventured out on our own, and it's good to see that we can run a program. Definitely FMF, Hill International, Lone Star Components today were spectacular. Moto Experts have this machine firing great and running perfect. Fox Suspension. Fast Company, we brought on Hinson Clutch Components this year, and everything was great. Goldspeed, Maxima, Graphic Works, Waynesburg Yamaha, DP Brakes, Tire Balls, Alpine Stars, first year on the new boots, and I'm loving them. Precision Racing, Scott Goggles, Cycra, Anti-Gravity, Atlas Braces, ODI, MS, CB4, Works Connection, GYTR, VP Fuels. This is the VP Racing Fuels Big Buck. We got a can up here. Thank you guys so much. Fuel Customs, Moto Seat Vortex, Intense Fab, Carb Sport. Man, that's good stuff. Love that. A+ Powder Coating, D4, D&V Trucking. Everyone in Florida that's on the computers that wasn't able to make it, thank you guys for watching. Again, the fans, you're the best. My grandma's watching. She was in the hospital last week, and we had a little bit of delay to start getting down here. But she's feeling better. So, Graham, shout out to you. I know you're watching. Love you. And, man, what a good day. Thank you.
Congratulations, race fans. Give it up for first place finisher, Walker Fowler.
Well, right now, folks, our champagne celebration getting ready to get underway as we'll take a few photos, and we're going to wrap up things here as far as Racer TV is concerned in our broadcast day. Want to remind you folks to go home, watch the archive race today on RacerTV.com, and also a reminder that pre-registration for Florida closes on Tuesday at midnight instead of Wednesday. So Tuesday at midnight, make sure that you are tuned in and dialed up. That's going to wrap up today's broadcast. On behalf of Mikey Waynes, I want to say thanks to Miss Spartanburg, Sydney Ford, and wish her good luck in Miss South Carolina, and to all of you here in the GNCC Racing Nation. We'll see you back here again bright and early tomorrow for the racing action, 1 o'clock for Racer TV.